We live. Man, you already know what time it is.
Oh, you didn't know?
50-50.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show with PharoahNFL and the Severe Raider, the realest show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Raiders!
You muted, bruh.
Man, y'all didn't hear the great intro, man. I came in smooth and everything, man. All right. Here we go. Welcome to the 50-50 Show with myself, PharoahNFL, obviously the Severe Raider. We're going live on both our channels, so definitely hit the like button. Clock in, as we like to say it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We got a great show lined up, great conversation lined up tonight. The greatest late night show out there, man. So definitely stay tuned, man. We see everybody pulling up. Everybody pulling up today, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. The night crew is in the building. My God, welcome back, Raider fans. Another great show. Clock it, hey man. Is this Mark? This might be Oli Man? Oli Man? I guess you changed up the name. It's a different name. I know this might be. I know my mods. Chill Ray in the building. Stream gets. Hey, but it's all good, man. It's all good. But all I gotta say, Lakers get. You know what I mean? I like the Lakers. You know, I don't hate on Lakers. You know, I got. You know, I have Lakers in my blood. You know, just a little bit. You know, but so I gotta. We gotta give him a chance. Because LeBron wasn't out there, right? LeBron wasn't out there. But,
yeah, LeBron out there.
But the Warriors, they started off with the W, man. They got a dub. They got a dub. Was good. We appreciate everybody pulling up. Raiders gonna get top 5 pick in this coming draft. I would let go of Pete at the end of the season and go get Joe Brady. Why everybody talking about Joe Brady, man? I don't want Joe Brady.
The offensive coordinator for the Bills.
I don't want Joe Brady. I might be wrong about him, but you know,
he's a young guy, young offensive minded guy.
He's the Sean Payton's disciple. I don't know, man. That's not a overly huge fan, but you know, yeah, exactly. The head coaching job becomes much more promising if you have your pick at a QB or if you have a QB already. So,
yep.
That's we'll talk about that because that's what makes, you know, hiring a 75-year-old very confusing. That's why we were questioning it, is because it doesn't really give you a lot of options. Like you're kind of like stuck a little bit because especially with you know, the Raiders kind of like basically getting rid of how many coaches in a row after 1 year? I mean, McDaniels after a year and a half.
Year and some change, yeah.
Year and some change. You know. Obviously, AP 1 year. It's like 3 different coaches. I mean, Gruden.
Yeah.
That's more.
I don't know if you want to count Bisaccia.
But yeah, we gotta count Bisaccia. He did lead the team to the playoffs, and a lot of those Gruden teams, y'all remember, they would always like fall off in the end of the season. But one of the big keys is that Bisaccia was able to listen to the locker room and the players and like kind of like ease up a little bit, and it worked. They won like 5-6 straight, went to the playoffs. But that's a whole different conversation, man. But the whole point is that the Raiders have seen their fair share of not QBs, but head coaches within the last few years. So I don't know if they're gonna want to move on. Man, we appreciate everybody pulling. Oh yeah, now my bad, y'all, man. Yeah, I know we were a little bit late today, but we appreciate everybody. PNW, see, that's what I'm saying. Look, PNW Mark. So why you just changed it back that fast? PNW Mark Raiders. It said Oli Man earlier. Okay. Welcome back, Raider fans, man. Another great, clock in, man. Clock in, as we like to say it, man. On this channel, man. 831 says salute, y'all. These late night shows are always the best, man. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Yeah, in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Ruben in the building. My God, man. Appreciate you pulling up. We got the one and only. The one and only. She's the area. What a great Warriors win. Okay. She just came here to rub it in.
Yeah, came here to talk stuff. Nah, man, it's good win for y'all, man. Good win for y'all. I ain't mad at that. Hey, we'll be back.
She gave it a rub in, man. It is what it is. It is. It's one game. Just one game.
I'm sliding Aisha DMs the revenge.
TK says this is more than a show. It's therapy. Man, appreciate it, man. We just chop it up, man. We just chop it up and just keep it real, keep it honest. Because a lot of people will just tell you, what do they tell you? They just tell you what you wanted to hear. They try to
exactly.
They won't point out what really needs to be said, and we just say it, and a lot of it's, sometimes can be our opinion, but we're going to just point out certain things that a lot of people are not willing to say, which we've been doing. I'm not going to lie. We've been doing it for a while. I mean, we've been doing like this entire offseason, we've kind of called out all their moves, every one of them. Just, I mean, starting with the hire, you know what I mean? With Pete Carroll, we were questioning it. His staff, we were questioning it. And then
I hate to say I told you so, but
so it's funny because it's the bye week, right? So I think it's a good time to look back at our overreaction takes. I think that is a good time because I think it was like right at the beginning of training camp, maybe that first preseason game. I was like, let's have some overreaction takes. Things that you see that is cause for concern that you think that can possibly be an issue. And it could be an overreaction, give us a little grace. But a lot of it was spot on. You talked about the run game. What did you I think you were saying the run game was not going to be top 20?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if our run game is that good. I mean, obviously, just from
I don't know where you're ranked. Yeah, you probably bottom.
But I will say the other overreaction takes was spot on. I think the run game is probably up there too, like as being an issue. Because I mean, we don't have no identity. We can't. I mean, we
can't do anything.
Run the ball one week, and we're not doing anything that to stay within a team's identity. And so you're kind of spot on that. And then as far as, obviously, we question the offensive line, we question the defense. These are all issues that are still issues. There are a lot of questions that have not been answered, or they have been answered. We just know that what it is. It's just not good. It's not good at all. But it is what it is, man. We appreciate everybody pulling up. Yeah, man. Hey, man. Congrats, man. Congrats on the 1,500, man. Salute.
Appreciate it, man.
Severe, man.
Everybody rocking with your boy. We are 27th in yards per game. Oh yeah, so there you go, LS. Yeah.
A run as far as rushing the football.
27th in yards per game. Yeah, running the football.
And you said like they were not going to be in the top 20, right?
Yeah.
Bruh, spot on. Not going to be in the top 20 in rushing. Offensive line being an issue, which it has, and defense being terrible, which they have. And what did we say last week? We were talking about, it was after a win too. We were like, I don't know about this defense. I know they had a good game, but they'll get exposed by a good team, good offense, good quarterback, whatever you call it, you name it. They're going to get exposed. And guess what happened? They got exposed.
Yep.
They got exposed pretty bad against the Chiefs. Yeah. But I mean, what was your take after the game? I know when I was watching it, I was kind of like, I was kind of out of it. I was like, you know what, this is just. I kind of seen it coming. I know I picked them to win. I tried to will it in. I was like, let me see if this could be my upset pick. I had to pick an upset pick, but it's funny.
But it wasn't an upset. I know. Speaking of, I think I did like half and half. I don't think my upset picks hurt me too bad. 'Cause I got some, but then I lost some too. So I think I kind of broke even. But yeah, man, watching the game, I didn't realize. I knew it was bad. I knew we were struggling. I knew we were getting just cooked, barbecue chicken. But I didn't realize just how bad it was till after the game, and I started looking at the numbers. Oh my god, damn, it was just we couldn't do anything, man. kind of said after the Titans game, like we were low-key, not lucky, but like, we got some fortunate bounces in that game. Obviously the forced fumble that led to 7 points, then they threw the pick when they were in field goal territory. So it was like, yo, man, like really this game, like even though we low-key controlled it the entire time, like a few bad plays don't go our way and it's a tight game, And that's against one of the worst teams in the league. So it's like now that we're playing a better team, it's like I kind of knew it wasn't going to go well, and that's exactly what happened. We're dominating all phases of the game. I mean, we couldn't get them off the field. We couldn't stay on the field ourselves. Look at time of possession. Look at Geno's QBR. Look at our rushing numbers. Everything was bad, And it's the second time a team has had the ability to pull their starter at quarterback off the field for an entire quarter. That's how unconcerned they were with anything we were going to do offensively. They can just sit their starter for the whole quarter. And, they obviously the coach did it and now the Chiefs did it. So it was bad.
That was an embarrassing loss. That's an historic loss. Second team in NFL history with 30 or less plays in the modern era. Like the only other team was like, I believe it was the Browns. Their first Browns game, because I know that was like an expansion team at the time. That was like their first game. To tell you, like, that's a bad team. That's a bad football team. That's an expansion team. They're like literally starting over, from scratch. And we're compared to them. They're gonna be in history. Raiders are gonna be in history books right next to that. And that speaks to Pete Carroll, the head coach. That speaks to the entire coaching staff. That speaks to the players. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm just gonna get it started, man. Chip Kelly, he's been a huge disappointment. And I said before the season, I said, hey, Chip Kelly is the biggest X factor to this Raiders season, because going into it, Severe, I was like, and we were on the same page. We didn't have high expectations. Yeah, like our expectation was pretty low, because we looked at the talent, we looked at like the defense. There's not a lot of depth. Like we just felt like, I don't know. Like, yeah, we got, maybe you can argue that they got semi better, maybe a little bit better here and there, but not enough in order for them to compete. So our expectations were very low going into the season. But what we did say, like where we had a little bit of positivity, was the offense. We thought, okay, Chip Kelly, he's coming in. He's going to have Brock Bowers, which to, be fair, he's been hurt. But he's a creative, offensive-minded coach. Yeah. He's going to utilize the talent that the Raiders already have from the guys that, we talked about having a, breakout year. We talked about the Michael Mayers. We talked about the Trey Tuckers. We talked about Ashton Genty. One of the biggest things that Chip Kelly was supposed to bring to the table was his, his run game, his sophisticated run game, and how he's able to open that up. And we were like, oh, man, you combine that with Ashton Genty. Yeah, you know what? Ashton Genty, running back, seems like a luxury pick for the Raiders. But, hey, man, Chip Kelly, you give him a talented running back like Ashton Genty, obviously the expectations are a little bit higher there. But we haven't seen that. Offensively, we have not seen that. And part of that, too, like I mentioned, Brock Bowers being hurt, I understand. Like, that's their best offensive weapon. He's their number one option in the pass game. We get it. I get it 100%. He's out. But even then, we should at least see a little bit of, like, creativity, a little bit of, like something where I'm like, oh, man, like, Chip he's doing some really good things, like, on a consistent basis. It's just we need to get Brock back. We need offensive line needs to consistently block. And part of the offense struggling, because right now the Raiders are 31st in the NFL in scoring offense. They're averaging 14.8. The last time they've averaged that much in a season was all the way back in like 2014. That was Derek Carr's first year at quarterback. We all know how bad a season that was. That was like, I think that might have been like was it a 4-12 season? Like 2-4. I remember that their first win, it came against the Kansas City Chiefs. I remember Latavius Murray had that big touchdown run. Y'all remember that season? That was a tough season. Olsen was that offensive coordinator. He was disgusting. James Jones was our number one receiver. Like it was,
disgusting.
It was just an ugly offense, but we knew that was ugly because of the talent and the youth and we knew that. But this offense, I felt like on paper, that's why there's never any there. You can't say there's paper champs. There's no such thing as paper champs. On paper, it is way better than that 2014 team as far as talent.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm looking at Chip Kelly kind of sideways, like, hey, look, like. You're getting paid. He's the highest paid assistant in the NFL. The highest paid assistant in the NFL. And what we're getting.
Of all time.
You said of all time. That's even
highest
worse.
paid coordinator of all time, yeah.
That's even worse. In the NFL and all time, that's even worse. So the expectations for Chip Kelly is a lot higher than everybody else on the team, or at least on the coaching staff. You know, you could argue other people, but I would say he's been a huge disappointment, and he's contributed to like the Raiders being basically a bad football team. I mean, because at least that offense was something. It was going to be at least semi like, oh, okay, the bright spot on this team, and it hasn't been. We know the defense was going to be the Actually, the defense for a couple of games was a little bit of a surprise to start the season, and how they were able to compete. They've since fell off. Like they're terrible. You know, and we now know that like they'll get exposed, especially against good teams, which we kind of know. Like the talent is just not there. Like it's just not there. It's Maxx Crosby and everybody else. Who I mean, you could argue like, will anybody on the Raiders defense outside of Maxx Crosby start on another team? I'm like, you got to think about it and be like, oh, I don't know. The linebackers, no.
Yeah. Maybe I could see a landing. Maybe a few spots a landing. Adam Butler for sure, Jonah Laulu possibly, but that's about it. Like it's a whole bunch of possibilities. It's not nobody like that's not like a lock starter on a whole bunch of other teams. But it's disappointment.
Yeah, it's been a disappointment. Like we could talk about obviously Pete Carroll. We've been talking about him since day one. Like I'd never understood the hire. Like it was just, you know, if you've been watching this for a while, we've always kind of made jokes and laughed and like, look at this old man, like, what are they gonna do? You know, we've cracked so many jokes, like it's not even funny anymore. So like, you guys know how we feel. And we're gonna talk about Pete Carroll as well, like, but I just want to talk about the disappointments that I had so far this season because we're at a bye week. The Raiders are not gonna play this week, so they're not gonna lose. They're also not gonna win this week, so. They're not going to play at all. So we're going to talk, and it's a good time to like reflect and see where this team is at currently and where possibly they can go. But I'll tell you right now, the biggest disappointment to me was Chip Kelly and Geno. And Geno's been a big disappointment. Not the fact that I didn't think he was going to be a franchise guy. I thought he at least was going to be like solid, like you know, last few years he was with Seattle. Like he was a decent QB, so I didn't think he was going to be a weakness. He's been terrible, but Chip Kelly to me has been the biggest disappointment. What's been the biggest disappointment for you?
I would say biggest disappointment. Yeah, I say the offense. Definitely the offense. I mean, I didn't expect a whole bunch from the defense, to be honest with you. You know, I expect them, especially when like we're doing the whole bend but don't break stuff. I was like, all right, you know, we'll give up a whole bunch of yards, but hopefully, you know, in the red zone, when we get teams in the red zone, we kind of hold them to field goals. I was hoping we'd be able to ball control, run the football, you know, kind of control the clock. And, you know, that was going to be our recipe to win, you know, run the ball, control the clock, execute in our red zone offense, you know, bend but don't break on defense and keep teams out of the end zone when we're on defense. So we haven't done any of that. You know, we haven't done any of that. So, yeah, Chip Kelly's probably been the biggest – well, I would say the offense has been the biggest disappointment. Do I put that completely on Chip Kelly? No. In terms of offensive struggles, in my opinion, he's probably like fourth on the totem pole in terms of blame. Look at obviously the first person I'm looking at, ironically, I mean, and I will say this. I will preface this by saying Spytek is getting a lot of leeway. People really ain't finger pointing at him a lot, and I'm not gonna do it now. But you on the radar, brother. On notice. Because he didn't do anything. With the second most cap space in the league, he didn't do much of anything to provide anything else on offense. And I just think the way he went about bettering this team via the draft or free agency. And people kind of like when I was I gave the team, I think I gave us a B- in the draft, C+, B-. People are, oh, severe. Come on now. You're being too rough on this. And what has the draft contributed to the team? Genty's been average, good one game, pretty bad some other games, solid some other games. Jack Besh hasn't done a damn thing. Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant hang out on the field. Darren Parter been on the field a handful of plays. Dante Thornton been trash. Tommy Millott is gone. JJ Pegues and Tonka Hemingway can't get any run. Like Cam Miller is on practice. Like, we haven't gotten really time. Lindenberg ain't really played either. So, like, what have we gotten from this draft class outside of Genty being, he's pretty good sometimes. Like, nothing. So obviously we gotta point the finger at him some. Gotta look at Chip Kelly too. But before Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll. What is Chip Kelly's specialty? You alluded to it, right? Chip Kelly's specialty is running the football, being in the run game. So, former offensive line coach, coordinated great run game at Philadelphia, in Oregon, at UCLA, at Ohio State. Great run games everywhere he's been, whether it's been college or the pros. He gets to the NFL and immediately the head coach sticks that offensive coordinator who's great in the run game, former offensive line coach. He handpicks his offensive line coach for him and his run game coordinator for him. So you wonder why execution hasn't been great in the run game, why we're not as creative in the run game. Who was the offensive line coach? Who was the run game coordinator? They're the same person. And it ain't anybody Chip Kelly chose. It ain't Chip Kelly. It's the son of the head coach. All of a sudden, Chip Kelly's been very creative in every stop he's been at running the ball, professional and collegiate. He gets to the NFL, we lack creativity. The difference is all those other stops, he's hired who he's wanted to hire as the offensive line coach or as the run game coordinator, or he was that himself when he was at Oregon and he was the OC. Like, so every stop, he's either hired the guy or he's been the guy. He gets here, he gets to do neither. And all of a sudden, the run game is not as creative. So you got that coach that's been handpicked by the head coach, as well as the assistant quarterbacks coach and Nate Carroll, who's also the coach's son. So on the offensive side of the ball, already two coaches that are handpicked by Pete Carroll. And I'm assuming that Greg Olsen, who is the quarterbacks coach, that doesn't strike me as a Pete Carroll guy either. That seems like it's a guy that's been in the league a long time. Pete Carroll trust. It seems like a Pete Carroll choice as well. The only guy I can say, hey, you know what, that was probably Chip, was I would say the running backs coach. But it's not like he's doing some fantastic job either. So you got that. And then obviously you got, the offensive line struggles. The offensive line has been bad. Haven't been able to block. Some of that goes back to Brandon Carroll as well, but some of that goes back to what do we do? As soon as we got here, we took guys who were in certain positions and moved them positions they either didn't like playing, like Dylan Parham, who has always said he prefers playing on the right side, or didn't want to play, as in JPJ, who you moved from center to right guard, who played left guard last year, and you take Jordan Meredith, who played very well at left guard last year, you move him to center. So you do all this stuff, and now all of a sudden we're having issues on offensive line, whether it be communication, whether it be inability to snap the ball correctly, whether it be, guys not understanding what they have to do on certain plays, running the wrong plays, guys are pulling when they should be, doing zone block, like all this stuff, all this goes back to, it's all goes back up the totem pole. And then you have Chip Kelly. I have issues with some of his play design. There's a whole bunch of bunch formations. Some of this stuff is a little bit too stale. Some of this stuff is a little bit too repetitive. I think, he can do more to try to get the pass game going. But that being said, like when he has schemed guys wide open, the play hasn't been executed by the quarterback. So it's like he does these things to get guys. He schemes guys wide open. He schemes guys, and some of these guys there's been opportunities in the run game as well, and they're not being executed upon. So I'm putting the coaches above the players, but Geno Smith and Ashton Genty are right there behind Chip Kelly and everybody else. And you can quench your face and all this stuff. Ashton Genty has not been good. I don't agree. He's not been good. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that 100%. You cannot agree, but he hasn't been good. He's been good one game. And it was solid in the coach game. That's the only games he's been good in.
I think that Ashton Genty showed me some things that he looks like. He's a good player for me. From what I've seen, He's shown that he's able to catch the ball at the backfield. He's been able to. I feel like he's been able to run routes, break tackles in open space. He's shown that he's a good player. Has he flashed at times? Yes. Has he been consistent at times? No. But a lot of that inconsistency, just you can point to either Chip Kelly and the way he's calling the game, the offensive line struggling, and to your point, why drafting a running back at number 6 can be criticized is because you don't have all this together before you draft a running back. But I think he's a good player. I think most of the blame for me, the disappointment is with Chip Kelly and Geno Smith too. Geno Smith is playing terrible. He's playing so bad. It's like I said this last week. He's playing so bad that it's putting a pressure on everybody else. There's no room for error, and you could. And this is probably an argument that you probably can make for Chip Kelly. Like, when you got a quarterback that's playing that bad, like, every play call has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. Genty has to be perfect. The offensive line got to be, like, the wide receivers got to be perfect when a quarterback is out there, like, turning the ball over the way he's been turning the ball over. He has, like, 10 interceptions. But, like you've mentioned, it's just been a perfect storm of things. But I think Chip Kelly and Geno has been at the heart of that. I know you mentioned the wide receivers. That's a good point. I mean, wide receivers, Dante Thornton, I was surprised. And you know, I'm a Dante Thornton guy. I liked him coming out, but I didn't think he was going to be drafted in the 4th round. I didn't think he was going to start right away. Like, you know, Pete Carroll talks about competition, right? But where was the competition for Dante Thornton? Who was competing with him? You basically handed a rookie the job. There was no competition for Dante Thornton. There was no threat for Dante Thornton. It was literally you handed him the job pretty much. And you had him starting since OTAs to give him all the reps to training camp. And you thought like you were able to coach him up, but he's not been able to produce. He's not been able to like get open underneath. Like he's going to need some time to develop. But the thing is that I know you mentioned Spytek and you want to criticize him. To be honest with you, I think Spytek looked at it the way we looked at it. It's a rebuild. So a lot of the moves he made, it was long-term moves. He didn't like really kind of like handcuff himself to bad contracts. He didn't like a lot of the players that he kind of drafted for the most part. And you can probably say, oh, this was a Pete Carroll pick. You know, that it's up for discussion. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, how do you know that? But it's kind of obvious. Like, we all know that Genty was a Pete Carroll pick. Like, come on, man. Like Pete Carroll, like, literally drafts running backs in the 1st round everywhere he's gone. Like, he's in Seattle, at least. You know, in Seattle, like, we all know Pete Carroll, how he wants to build his football team. He wants a running back in there, and Genty kind of fits the bill. It just made 100%. But as far as, like, some of the guys in the draft class playing the young guys, that's on Pete Carroll. He's not like, as much you want to criticize the draft class, how can you criticize them when they really haven't played and the coaching staff is like they don't want them to play? And on top of that, like when I can clearly see that the GM looks at this as a rebuild, and we all know a GM, to properly evaluate a GM, are you going to really judge him off of one offseason? It takes time. You got to, and I know people don't want to hear that it takes time talk or whatever, but I think with a GM, it's going to take time. Like McKenzie, for example, McKenzie, I'm going to give you an example. McKenzie, his first draft pick was in the 3rd round, and I'm trying to remember his name, but it was a guard that literally barely,
I want to say Paul McQuiston, but it's not McQuiston, but it was a guard out of Utah. It was a guard.
And guess what? He lasted about a couple of years in the league, or I don't know if he even lasted throughout his rookie deal, but he never really got into the starting lineup or amounted to anything as far as like playing some meaningful snaps for the Raiders. But fast forward 3 years down the line, he had his greatest draft. Yeah. Like, he had the 2014 draft. That was his great draft. What I'm trying to say is that, like, you got to allow Spytek, because we're so used to like firing people left and right. The worst thing is when I know it's bad enough when you fire head coaches, but it's even worse when you fire a GM, because they literally got to get their scouts. Like, literally right now, Spytek doesn't even have his scouts in the building. Like, he just got them after the draft. He didn't even have them like before the draft. He had them. So you really can't judge Spytek until like this next draft. and then you kind of can go from there. I don't want to push him off of accountability, but it's like it's just too early for us to be like, oh man, Spytek, he's trash. Nah, like I'm not there yet with Spytek. I think for me it's and even normal circumstances, I wouldn't even be there with the head coach. But when the season is going left, when this is a clear rebuild, I'm gonna have to criticize hiring a 75-year-old head coach. Just right off the bat, I'm just gonna have to criticize that. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all to hire a guy that old, and he clearly doesn't want to rebuild. He wants to win now. So you got a GM that wants to rebuild, and you got a head coach who wants to win now, and like and the GM, I'm sure, wants to play the younger players, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens after this bye week. Because if we don't see, like, the entire draft class should be active, like every game, like we should not be seeing Tonka Hemingway inactive. We should not be seeing JJ Pegues inactive. We should not be seeing none of these guys in this draft class to be inactive. They should be getting all these snaps, meaningful snaps, evaluate them and seeing if they can be part of the future, or if it's a position that they still need to address. I don't know. The way I'm looking at it, I think they messed up with the hire with Pete Carroll, in that, like, they got a guy that's clearly not on the same page with Spytek, and I don't see how they even, like, they didn't even think about that. How do they not think about how, like, that Pete Carroll was not going to be part of a rebuild? Like, he doesn't want to be a part of that. Am I tripping here? Like, am I, like, is it? Do you think that there is a possibility that Pete Carroll wants to be part of something where it's going to take time to develop, and he's just going to be part of just building this up for the next guy to come in? Because I think he wants to win.
Yeah, Pete Carroll definitely wants to win. But that's why, I mean, part of it is on ownership group, and I think, we said it already. You can blame, I guess you give some blame to Mark Davis. But who was the person that was essentially running the show this offseason? A lot of people say it was Tom Brady. Tom Brady tried to shuck responsibility, but if Mark said, it was like, hey, I'm letting Tom Brady do his thing. Like, Mark said it out of his own mouth. So Mark was essentially hands off. So this was a Tom Brady situation with the Pete Carroll hire. In terms of Spytek, I mean, you're not going to say he's a bad GM or a good GM yet. Like, you don't want to kind of, like, cast judgment on him wholly as a GM, but him this offseason, he's been ass. It's like, if we can look at Chip Kelly and say he's been ass, I can look at John Spytek having several assets, a high first round pick, multiple other picks, the second most cap space in the league, and this is the team you put together, bro, you ass. Like, if we saying Chip Kelly ass and this is the roster he has to deal with, then bro, I'm saying John Spytek, or you ass until you prove otherwise. I've seen Chip Kelly coordinate good offenses. I ain't seen him be the head GM and be the guy and put together a team. When we talk about him not having his own scouts, know the convenient thing about Johnny Spytek? He was the director of scouting with Tampa Bay as assistant GM. He was leading the scouts over there. So he doesn't need other scouts. He's been getting scouting reports for months. So he already has those notes. So bro, rely on your own notes. If you don't trust your own notes, then we shouldn't have hired you as GM. So, like, right. You can't even give that an excuse. That will work maybe this draft. If he didn't have his scouts for this draft, but bro, you've been looking at the draft period for a long time, so you kind of know who's good and who's not. So it's still on you. But like, and we had all that money, all these draft picks. Like, you either got to make a decision. You're either trying to win now, or you're going for broke, or you're building for the future. There's no halfwaying it. You can't try to do both and I kind of want to win, but nah, bro, you got to go all in, or you got to say it's a wrap, because your moves, they not coordinating. You don't trade a third round pick for a 35-year-old quarterback and then pay him money if you ain't trying to win right now. You don't pay a 5th round pick for a backup quarterback if you are not thinking, like, there's a possibility this guy goes down. I want to make sure I have a backup that's not a rookie. Like those aren't things. You aren't giving up those kind of assets for those kind of players if your intention is not to win now. Because if your intention is not to win right now, then you're fine rolling with Cam Miller as a backup.
I was gonna say no, you're right, but and that's I think what you're saying is right, but you're putting it more on Spytek. I'm putting it on like the Raiders and them putting two guys that are clearly not on the same page. Like like if you think about it, like how many times have we heard the Raiders matching a coach with a GM? Like, come on, can't we just get past that? Can't we just let the GM just pick his coach, pick a coach that aligns with his beliefs? And I'm not saying that maybe Pete Carroll probably said the right things and Spytek probably said all the right things, but at the end of the day, we all know that Pete Carroll was getting interviews before Spytek was in the building. Ben Johnson was getting interviewed before Spytek was in the building. Spytek was a done deal, but like, what I'm saying is that he was matched up with these coaches. He wasn't even in the room to interview some of these guys. So it's like, man, this what you're speaking to is too. It's you got like I said earlier. I said Pete Carroll wants to win now. 3rd round pick for Geno. He got his quarterback. Probably wanted a backup quarterback. That was probably a Pete Carroll wanted to get a backup quarterback. Amari Cooper. That was Pete Carroll. Literally, Amari Cooper was saying that Pete Carroll was texting him all offseason, hang in there, like trying to keep in contact with them until like Spytek gave in, all of a sudden because, Jacobe Meyers, the timing was a big coincidence, requested a trade right before the season. And then all of a sudden we hear Amari Cooper get signed and we all know what happened there. He retired before playing a game for the Raiders. But what I'm saying is that like, it's just two guys that are like trying to win now and trying to rebuild at the same time, but it's not working. Like it's not.
Yeah,
it's just
you can't do. And it's almost like anybody that, it's almost like body, like people like body recomp. Anybody that works out kind of knows that is like you're trying to like build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Like it can be done, but it's not the most practical way to do things. Like, you either got to focus on losing fat or focus on building muscle because it takes a whole bunch of calories and protein to build muscle, a whole bunch of eating, or it takes a calorie deficit to lose fat. So it's hard to do both at the same time and get quick results. So like you have to understand, like if you're looking for quick results, then you got to make a choice. You bulking right now or you cutting? Like you can't do the body recomp and hope for super fast results. So and that's what we're trying to do right now. But at the same time, look at the person you spoke to. Who got the quarterback he wanted? Pete Carroll. Who got the running back he wanted? Pete Carroll. Who got Dante Thornton, who he wanted? Pete Carroll. Who recruited Amari Cooper? Pete Carroll. So all these people. So you ain't hearing Chip Kelly ain't out here making these calls. Chip Kelly not calling these people. Chip Kelly not saying I want this guy. This is Pete Carroll. He has his hands all over this team. So so everything leads back to him. Or do other people still need to do their job? Yeah. At the end of the day, Chip Kelly, you're getting paid $6 million a year. You're getting paid that much money. I expect results. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to say I expect results, but you get almost no say in who's going to be on the team, no say in who's going to be on your staff. Bro, you want me to do all of this stuff, but I have no control outside of my scheme. And if you're giving me people who can't execute on my scheme, then you can't say at the same time, well, I want results, but you're not going to get the people you want. Right? Geno Smith is not executing the scheme. Ashton Genty has been very inconsistent in his scheme. Trey Tucker is downright bad in his scheme. Jack Besh, downright bad in his scheme. Dante Thornton can't do a damn thing in this scheme. The only person that had been any kind of consistent was Brock Bowers, and he's been, and Jacoby on occasions, but obviously he's getting all the attention. So we're seeing Trey Tucker eat off Jacoby's attention. Everybody's like, oh man, Trey Tucker, wide receiver 1. As soon as Jacoby gone, what is Trey Tucker? He's just a regular ass dude. He's a regular, you a regular ass. You turn right back into a pumpkin quick, bro. Same thing with Michael Mayer. I had high expectations for Michael Mayer. I thought he was going to be a very good tight end. I thought he was going to put up 500-600 yards this year or more. He ain't done a damn thing without Brock being out there, bro. This is your opportunity to shine, to show that, hey, you know what? I can be a tight end 1 for a team. And you can't do it. You ain't doing it in the blocking game or the passing game. So when you got this many people that aren't executing,
He's average,
obviously,
bro. He's average.
Yeah, he's average. Yeah, he's average.
He's average.
He might not even like. Look, if he don't start showing something, it might not even be that. But at the end of the day, like it does fall on coaching to some degree. But like as we know, man, a lot of it, it's sometimes it's X's and O's, sometimes it's Jesse's and Joe's, and like we don't got a Jesse or a Joe on this team. Like Ass and Genty is supposed to be generational. We draft you at 6. Bro, you have to, it's been several, I can point to multiple times, every game where there's been big runs there, and he's run the wrong direction. Multiple times where, you're in an open field, make one guy miss. And the one time he did it, guess what? Bro fucker went 60. He went 60 the one time he made the one guy miss. But every other time, he's getting tackled. He's getting tackled by corners. Like, bro, you're drafted a top 10 running back. You can't get tackled by a corner one-on-one. That's illegal. That's against, bro. I should throw you in jail for grand larceny, for theft, bro. Like you're stealing at this point because you're supposed to be that dude. If you can't make a corner miss in the open field, like I have no use for you as a running back. So like has he shown some flashes? Yes. But I draft you at 6. I'm told you're generational. I need results, consistent results. Not sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I make the right read. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I hit the cutback lane. Sometimes I just run into the back of my guard. Sometimes I want to block. Sometimes I like, nah, bro, you're a 6th overall pick. Ain't no sometime in it. It's all the time. Because I can get sometimes in the 3rd fucking round. Like, if I want somebody that can do it on occasion, Cam Scatterbull is doing it on occasions. Like, that's not what we drafted you at 6 for. We drafted you at 6 to be the all-the-time person. And you ain't been the all-the-time person. You've been the, hey, I have one good game, and then I don't have any good games.
I disagree, bro. I disagree. Just look at this last game. I'm not saying that he's been perfect. Let me start there because I don't want you to get under pressure that I don't want to take accountability away from anybody. But I'll say this, though. Last game, like literally the first 2 drives, like he had 1 carry. Like going into the game, we talked about like if there was a weakness in this Kansas City Chiefs defense, it was their run defense. And going into the game, once again, Chip Kelly just overthinks it and just decides not to handle the ball. And you know what? Like there's a lot of different factors to that. But like, it's just, you don't even have to handle the ball. They didn't even do a good job of like, they've done a terrible job of trying to.
What did he do his first carry?
He got like 3 yards.
Exactly, bro. I'm not gonna keep running you if you're not getting results, bro. And guess what?
Man, come on.
And that was a 3 and out. It was a 3 and out. And guess what? They got the ball the next drive. They threw a pass. 2nd down. It was a penalty. It was like 2nd and 12. It's like you expect them to run on 2nd. It's like they're not getting the opportunities. And when he gets the opportunities, he's not producing enough. He averaged 3.5 yards a carry. You expect me to feed you all game and you ain't getting results? At some point, you got to get results, bro. He's not getting results consistent enough.
The Raiders, literally the 2nd team in history that have 30 plays or less on offense, bro. 30 that's on Geno. That's on Geno the quarterback. That's on the players on offense, but come on, I gotta put that on Chip Kelly, man. The play calling, his offense.
But by the same, we can put it on Chip Kelly, but then you have to put it on Ashton Genty. He ain't getting results in. You can't say I'm putting it on Chip Kelly and then say Ashton Genty.
He has 6
bro, he's
carries.
Not, and he was ineffective in all of them except for 1. So I'm not gonna keep feeding you the ball if you're not doing good. That's just what it is. And then the score dictates after the first 2 drives we were down 14. You think we got to just be pounding the rock and you averaging 3 yards a carry? Bro, that's not realistic. That's not realistic.
You know how I know a offensive coordinator is good? He knows how to get the best players to football. Chip Kelly struggles to do that. He struggled all season to do that. This season, Brock Bowers has been out, and clearly the best player on offense is Genty. But for whatever reason, there's always an excuse. Oh, the game flow. Oh, 1 carry in like 2-3 drives. Like,
be effective.
Nah, bro.
When he was effective, he got the ball. The Chicago game, he was effective. He got the ball. He's been you expect him to just keep feeding somebody that's not getting the results?
You
That's
don't have to hand him the ball. Like we've seen that this Genty has an ability to catch the ball off the backfield, and how many games in did he realize that you can actually throw a screen to Genty? How many games in did he have to figure that out?
He got a pass this last. Yeah, he got a pass against the Titans, and why you throwing the pass so late? And then another pass he gets a cornerback 1-on-1. Then he gets tackled by the corner. It's a 1-on-1. Like he's not being consistent. He's not being consistent. So when he throws the pass to him, he's like, oh my God, you can't throw him. You can't throw him right there. Come on now, you can't throw him that pass. And then when he gets the pass and he gets tackled by a corner 1-on-1, it's like, then whose fault is that at that point? Whose fault? It's never Genty's fault. It's always offensive line. It's on this. And like when Genty's missing wide ass open holes, it's everybody else's fault. It's not Genty's fault. It's everybody else's fault, bro. When you get carries,
I think you're a little bit. I personally, I think you're being a little too critical on Genty. You're a little too critical.
I'm being as critical of Genty as you are of Chip Kelly. So I'm holding him to the same standard.
No, Chip Kelly. I think Chip Kelly's ass. He's trash. I want him to go back to college. I don't want to see Chip Kelly again.
Genty has been mediocre this year. Outside of one game.
You know what? Genty's under contract for the next 4 or 5 years.
He here for a while.
So he's gonna be here for a while. But Chip Kelly, I know the contract is guaranteed, so he could kick rocks. He'll get paid. He'll have a nice little Cancun trip.
He'll get paid.
He need to go. But real quick, let me address the super chat. My guy LS in the building, man. Appreciate the super chat. He says you only need to look at the way the O-line has been handled by the GM and coaching staff, and you instantly know we'll never be successful under this regime. Yeah, man. I mean, the trenches is very important, man. It's like this, it's simple as that. Like the game is still won in the trenches. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think that was good. That's probably another. I have another question that I want to or another topic that I want to get into, but real quick, let me get into this. Another super chat right here. My guy Raider Smoke. He says Pete Carroll is the only coach to have drank from a whites only water fountain. Severe. Been on one today.
Oh yeah, so I said that earlier. Pete Carroll, the only coach in NFL history to have drink, or just the only coach in NFL right now that drink from a whites only water fountain. But yeah, man.
Oh man, hey man, hey. Hey, look. You know what? Let's talk about Pete real quick. Do you think that he's gonna get last pass this season?
You almost have to, man. You almost have to. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it consistent. I thought we should have kept Josh McDaniels for a full 2 years. I thought we should have kept AP for 2 years. I think at this point we have to keep Pete Carroll for at least a full 2 years. Genty is his guy. Jack Besh is his guy. Geno's his guy. Dante Thornton is his guy. Give those guys another year to kind of, hey, can we get more production out of them? Can we this offensive line gel that you put together? Can it gel better next year? Can we open the lanes better for Ashton Genty? Can he get a better understanding of how to read these guys and they get on the same page, get more effectiveness in the run game? Can we get, can we, I can't even say can we go into the offense and look to pass the running back more, because we was passing and running back the ball hella much in the offseason. So I don't know what happened from the offseason to now. That's changed, but can we design a better offense that's gonna get him the ball more as a receiver? Can we get a healthy Brock Bowers for a full 17? Can we find a better complement to Brock Bowers outside of Michael Mayer if he doesn't step up? It's a lot of stuff that has to happen. Like, do I personally want him back? Do I think he's good? I never wanted him in the first place. He was like, right. Do I wanted him fired before he got hired? But do I think we should fire him now? We can't keep doing the same exercise. Our best bet is to get him to say, you know what? Hey, I gave it one last go, gave it one last hurrah. I'm gonna go teach. I'm gonna go be with my family. It can't even be with family. He hired his whole damn family, so can't even say be with family. I'm gonna go teach. I'm gonna go teach at USC. And I'm gonna enjoy that aspect of my life rather than be a head coach in NFL, because obviously the rigors of it. At 74, I'm just not up to that anymore. Like, that's our best bet. That would be, and maybe that'll take some convincing back behind closed doors. Like, look, Pete Carroll, we don't want to embarrass you, brother. We don't want to embarrass you. Your best bet is to just say, hey, you know what? Write a nice little statement. Go out there, have a nice press conference. Well, have your sons by your side, and have your family with you, and just say, you know what? Hey, walk away into the sunset with your head held high. You gave it one good old college try, and it just wasn't for you anymore. Because if you don't do that, bro, we're gonna have to embarrass you. We're gonna have to embarrass you, and we don't want that stain on your legacy. So do us both a favor and leave. That's our only out. Because if without that, like, we fire another coach after 1 year, bro, we might as well hire a water boy. So because no real NFL candidate is gonna want this job.
Yeah, I think it's either like you said, man. I think either Pete Carroll retires or they give him another. He plays one more year. I mean, not plays 1 more year. He coaches 1 more year. But I think at least one of the assistants get fired. At least one, or both.
Pete Carroll's been coaching since the 70s. He's been coaching since the 70s, like, bro.
Yeah.
You proved all you can prove, man. Walk away.
Yeah, but he's stubborn, bro. I could tell, like, he's stubborn as hell. So I think that, I mean, literally he's literally came back to coaching because he didn't like how it ended in Seattle, where they had him step down and they had him go into the building like he was like an advisor, and it wasn't even disrespectful, like, to the point. But he felt disrespected. He felt like he had some unfinished business. He felt like he had something to prove, and that's why he's back coaching the Raiders. But yeah, I don't see him unless, like, he looks at it as like, man, there's no way, I could coach through this rebuild. Then maybe he kind of goes out and retires. But if he doesn't, I think he coaches at least 1 more year. But one of the assistants is for sure, like, I think either Chip Kelly, man, I could see both of them get fired, to be honest with you.
I can see both get fired, but
I can see both get fired.
Only reason I can see, I mean, if Pete Carroll's gone, everybody except Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham has got Michael Myers, and it's like, you can't kill this dude. Like, you can't get rid of him. You can't shake him. He gonna be here. I don't know how this keeps happening through all these regimes, but Pete Carroll's gone. I think, obviously, I mean, Chip is likely gone too, and they deserve whatever fate they get, because they in this bed together, low key. Like I said, I think Chip has been hamstrung by Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll has had an outsized influence on personnel and the coaching staff, and has not allowed Chip Kelly enough freedom to do what he wants to do on that side of the ball. And I think that's probably, that was probably part of the stipulation for him coming here. Did he think that he can overcome that? Yeah, I'm sure he did. Obviously he can't. But so he's gonna have to live with it. He's gonna have to live with this, right? Like, you signed up for this, you're gonna have to live with it. But you see the influence that Pete Carroll has on this offense, and on every part of this football team. Every part of this football team, Pete Carroll got his wrinkly ass fingers all over it. So
that needs to go though. That needs to go. Like I think after the season, they need to evaluate the season. Everybody needs to get evaluated, including the coaching staff, including Pete Carroll. And if Pete Carroll is going to stay, hit whatever say that he had in that building, it needs to go. The only say he has is on the football field as a coach. It should not be on who they should be drafting, because look, this offseason is way too important. I'll say this, because I don't think the Raiders are going to finish with a great record. They're obviously guaranteed they're going to be picking in the top 10. I think right now they're picking number 7, but there's about 10 plus games left. There's 10 games left, so anything can happen. But they're picking number 7, but they can probably get into that top 5. Top 3, I don't know. I mean, the Jets haven't won a game, and
Jets. Who else? There's the Jets, and it's one more team. This one that got 1 win.
I have it up. I have it up right here, actually.
Jets, Titans, and it's another 1-1 team, I think.
So it's, let me see right here. So it's the
Jets,
Jets,
Titans, Saints,
Dolphins, Saints, Tennessee. Remember, Tennessee's bad. They're bad.
Yeah.
The Ravens got the number 5 spot right now. That's ugly. Cleveland, and then the Raiders.
Bro,
Raiders got the number 7 spot. So, and that's like the Jets could easily get quarterback. Miami can all easily get quarterback.
Wow, bro.
It's bad luck, bro. That's bad luck. So the Jets could easily get quarterback. The Dolphins could easily go quarterback because I'm not gonna lie, Tua, he's looking like I want to say his days are numbered. It's just, man, he's
they numbered.
Usually you hear the coaches lose the locker room, but he lost the locker room. Like I feel like the players lost belief in Tua. Like it's crazy. He's over here calling them out, talking about people showing up late. And then a week later, he just has the worst game of the season. Like you could tell, like his credibility in that building is pretty low. So I don't know if he gets traded. New Orleans.
I said around the shield, bro. It's gonna be any given Sunday moment with him. That's why I picked against the Dolphins. Like, bro, I knew it was gonna be all out mutiny.
Yeah, Tennessee's not gonna pick quarterback. Ravens not gonna pick quarterback. Cleveland can. Cleveland still can. New Orleans possibly can, but they literally have Radler and they drafted that second round QB. So it's until like they kind of evaluate those guys, like I'm not sure if they're gonna pull the trigger. Yeah, man, we'll see. But that's what I'm saying, bro. Like the reason why I can't even say guarantee that we can get in is because, bro, like. Pete Carroll, like he's gonna try. He's gonna try to figure out how to win some of these games, man. He's trying everything, bro. He's trying everything possible. And that's what I'm saying too. It's going to be like every week has been interesting for different reasons. How they respond after a blowout. Like now they got blown out 31-0. Could have been the score was way worse than what it was. Like literally, I think the Chiefs were like, this one of the few times where like a team actually like. Was going down on one knee before the 2-minute warning. You know what I mean? Like they were, like Gardner Minshew was in the game. Hey, that's so disrespectful. Gardner Minshew, the Raiders starting quarterback the year prior that we used to just clown and talk and call him trash. He was in the game, and I think they had him in there in the goal line. Man, he would have scored a touchdown. That'd have been so sad. But
that'd been crazy.
That'd have been crazy. But it's going to be interesting to see how they respond after getting blown out, have a couple weeks to just simmer on that blowout loss, and then how the Raiders going to respond, but not just how they're going to respond. What is Pete Carroll going to do as far as getting these young guys? Is he going to still have these young guys inactive? Are they going to get any snaps? Like if they're not, then man, I think you gotta. I'm not now. I think you got to make that move at the end of the season. I don't want to fire a coach in the middle of the season, but you might have to make that because he's not on the same page, bro. Like that's the worst. Like a coach. Like what were they thinking,
bro?
It's like
they weren't thinking. That's what I said before the season, bro. That's what I was saying. Like bro, it's not even about being like ageist or like, hey, I'm against old people, but it just has to make sense. Like he got like the last place that he put back on the map. He took to 2 Super Bowls, make them a relevant team. I think he helped them build a state. I think they built his new stadium while he was there, if I recall correctly. But it had the 12th man and all this stuff. Turned that franchise around. Made it. I'm sure he made the owners hundreds of millions of dollars. Did all of that. And at that last year, what did they do? They basically gave him a job shuffling papers and organizing paperclip. Like they shoved him in some corner office and said, sit here. You can be a consultant. You can look at the games and you can give us some advice, but we don't have to listen to anything you say. Like that's essentially what they did. After all those years, that's what they did. And now look at the team. And they went from being I think they were a bottom 25 defense his last year there, to last year they were borderline top 10. This year they're one of the better defenses in the league too. So it's like obviously he was the problem. And we talk about that Marshawn Lynch quote where he was saying like he's trying to recapture that Legion of Boom. Like he was doing the same thing here too. He keeps trying to do these old things over again, and he's not evolving to the new NFL, and that's his issue. And he's having his hands in too many different places, bro. Like, just be the overseer. Like, we don't need you making all of these decisions. Let your decision makers make these decisions. Patrick Graham is an experienced DC. Let him call his own defense. Chip Kelly has been an offensive genius for I don't know how long. Let this guy choose his personnel, choose his staffing. Like, let these guys do what you paying them to do. But obviously, he doesn't have even the GM. Like, why is Pete Carroll essentially like the Dante Thornton pick? We already Chip Kelly let the cat out the bag. Like, oh, that was Pete Carroll, man. Pete Carroll calling us, talking about Dante Thornton. You already alluded to Amari Cooper and obviously Jamal Adams. It has worked out, but it's all these people. He's been the influence. He's been the driving force behind all of this. So if people want Chip Kelly gone, the easiest way to do that is to say get rid of Pete Carroll. Because if Pete Carroll's gone, I think everybody's gone. But if you just fire Chip Kelly or just fire Patrick Graham, then that gives Pete Carroll an out. That gives him, oh man, like, thank you guys for doing that. Now I can bring in somebody that's gonna, nah, bro. We ain't doing that. We ain't letting you shuck the blame. All right. Do those guys have some accountability? Yes, they have some accountability. Especially Pete Carroll, not especially Chip Kelly because of his salary. But no, all roads lead back to you. You put your sons on his staff. You put several players on his staff. You're dictating all of these things. So at the end of the day, the buck stops at your desk.
Yeah, and he hired Pete Carroll, not Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
So he's not working out.
That's
He's the reason why
Kelly asked. That's Pete Carroll's why too.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see, man. It's gonna be interesting. I think there's gonna be a crossroads at the end of the season. Does Pete want to continue? But also there's also another thing is like, let's say if the Raiders are like in a prime time position to draft a quarterback, like we can like, oh man, we can literally see it. Like they're in the top 3 and there is a young up and coming coach. There's some available candidates. Do you think a Tom Brady is like, this is perfect opportunity? Spy tech, like who do you like here? Who do you like? Hey, you like Joe Brady? Do you like your guy LaFleur? From the Rams. It's a perfect opportunity. Get your guy, like let him pick his quarterback and let them develop or even like a combination where it's a strong defensive mind coach, a good coach. Maybe like a Brian Flores and PG even stay. PG probably would stay. And then I'm sure like, a guy like I could see a guy like Maxx Crosby liking that. And on top of that, you hire Mike McDaniel at OC. Get the Dolphins coaching staff. You know what I mean?
I'm good with that.
That would be crazy, right? That would be a crazy scenario.
With Mike McDaniel. Hey, I'll sign me up for that one. Sign me up.
But I'm just saying, like that situation could be intriguing for like a Tom Brady and everybody in that building, like Spy Tech. Like, all right, you know what? This is probably a perfect time to pivot. Hey, it was Pete, you're a good guy, but just respectfully, I think you just need to retire or whatever the case may be. But look, it's 10 games. We'll see how it shakes out. Real quick, this is actually a good pivot right here. My guy Taj says, hey, bro, Crosby to Dallas needs to happen. Dak for MVP, man. All right, so
is this the same guy that's swerving down that Michael wasn't getting traded? Is that him? I don't remember. I remember somebody was like, Mike ain't going nowhere.
No, it wasn't. I don't think that might have been someone different. But Taj, if that was you, man, hey, that was funny that it happened in real time though. I think it happened literally the same show. Did it happen the same show? Did we find out the same show?
It happened like the day. I think it was like the day after or something like that.
The day after. Okay. Yeah. That was funny. Yeah, we were like, hey, and I was looking at it, I was like, hey, bro, Micah is gonna get traded and yada da da. Literally a day later, he gets traded.
That was all you. I didn't think it was gonna happen. That was you called that like Nostradamus, bro. I was like, bro, ain't no way in the world Jerry finna let Micah get out the door, bro. Hey, Jerry, he loves to take care. He loves to spoil his superstars. We ain't gonna let this happen. Bam, happen. Dang.
Right.
That's why I'm like, bro, if Micah can get traded, bro, anybody can get traded.
Well, it sounded like for a second that Crosby was a guy that Dallas was looking into trading for, but the Raiders have since come out and say they're not looking to trade him, and Tom Pellesso have come out and said that it's not going to happen, and Max is locked in; he wants to stay a Raider and all this good stuff. But we talked about this before, and I've talked about this as well. Like, if this is another rebuild and it's another head coach. Does Max want to do this over again? Because we've heard comments in the past like, hey, look, like something got to change and yada, yada, yada. Those little cryptic comments that he would make about, look, if it ain't here, then that means I might have to take my talent somewhere else. I'm not saying that's what he said, but like he's implying like he's willing to go somewhere else. But look, if that's the case, I think the Raiders got to move quickly. They got to move. It doesn't have to be right now. It could be after the season. They got to really evaluate and see like, look, is it going to make sense to have a Maxx Crosby on a football team in the way this team is currently constructed? Can you see this team and Max being here in 3 years and be contributing and having being a playoff contender in 3 years? Because when you're talking about rebuild, you're not talking about a 1 year deal. It's like a 2 to 3 year deal. 2 years, that's a good thing. That's, man, like, because everybody thinks that, oh man, like all you need is just to get one guy. You just need to get that quarterback. And yeah, like guys like Jaden Daniels could probably put you ahead of schedule, but you could see how like it's still going to be a struggle. Because look at CJ Stroud, like he was able to do all that in that first season, and but after like a couple seasons, they realized like, hey, maybe this roster is not as good as we thought it was. I mean, they can't protect him. The offensive line is terrible. So we haven't really heard as much from CJ Stroud as of late, just because like of they can't protect him. You know what I mean? So
some of it is him too, though. Yeah, a lot of it is protection, but it's him. He misses, bro. He misses,
like,
bro. He misses.
Like you threw that one at the end. Like some of it is him.
Yeah, some of it is him too. Nah, I watched it. Some of it is like, yeah, bro, yeah, your line ain't great, but you sailed that throw, bro. Like you feel me? So like when you have opportunities, you gotta take advantage of them. But I mean, look, they can all say the right thing. Like, first of all, it doesn't behoove the Raiders to say, "Oh yeah, man, we're trying to trade Maxx Crosby." Like, who wants him? Like that doesn't help them because if they end up not being able to trade him, then that kind of fractures the relationship with Max, and then that also sends a signal to people out there that, all right, well, the Raiders are open for business, then let's lowball them. If you say, man, we're not trading Maxx Crosby under any circumstances. Like that's okay. Like we ain't taking no BS offers. If you come to me with an offer, you better come correct. Like I ain't got time for no. How about a second round? Nah, bro. Hey, you come up here, you're starting. The first words out your mouth better be 2 first round picks, because we ain't trading them. Right? That's what that message sends. And the Maxx Crosby sending it, bro. Like look. I don't give a damn what Maxx Crosby says. You can say you want to be traded, say you don't want to be traded. If they offer me the right deal, bro, I'm taking it. I really don't give a damn, bro. If they offer me the right deal, peace. Chuck and Deuce will get loose, bro. Like you guys to go. Like that's just what it is, bro. First of all, people be talking all this nonsense, all this trash about people being hurt this and hurt that, and I don't want to pay people because they hurt. And this guy is injured and he can't help the club from the tub. But Maxx Crosby hurt again. He's been hurt every year the past 3 years. Missed multiple, so I don't want to hear about y'all not want to pay nobody because they hurt all the time, but y'all want to hold on to Max, who's been hurt every year the last 3 years. Like that math ain't mathing. So either you care about people being hurt all the time or you don't. So is it with Maxx Crosby you don't, because you think he's so good when he's on the field? He's so good that we've won 2 games. So I don't give a damn. Like if I'm gonna get some assets that are gonna help me build this team correctly and hit the reset button on this roster, I'm taking it. I'm flushing this everything down the toilet. I'm wiping the slate clean. Whatever metaphor or ism you want to use for it, I'm doing that. I'm starting from scratch, and I'm doing it the right way. And if it takes trading Maxx Crosby, if they offer me the right deal, hey, if they don't give me the right deal, then I'm keeping them. But if I get the deal that I want, I'm sorry, bro, you guys to go. I mean, that's this. You understand? NFL is business.
Nah, facts. That's the one thing that people kind of forget. But I will say this though, like if Max wants to stay, you know what I mean, and he understands, but it's not even about him wanting to stay. It gotta make sense for the Raiders. Like they gotta
exactly.
Like the best GMs, the best, like they can identify and be like, all right, you know what, we're not gonna be ready to win now. This is our best asset. He's obviously in his prime, probably near the end of his prime. I don't want to say the end, but like he's approaching his 30s, and you know what I mean? Like you don't want to trade him when he's like upwards of 30s, and then obviously he gets hurt. He got hurt last game. I thought it was a dirty play, by the way, but he still got He still got banged up. And even before that game, Pete mentioned this, but we even see it on the injury report. He was on the injury report with a knee issue. And even Pete talked about it. He was like, yeah, like before going into the game, he was a little bit sore, banged up a little bit. So, look, it's like
he's
I don't
a very physical player.
Exactly. And I don't want it to get to a point where like he becomes injury or he's starting to, get hurt or he pushes the Raiders into a corner too. That's another scenario where you push and then that kind of takes the leverage out of the Raiders' hands and now they can't get a good deal. Like, cause we've seen in the past how like if you give the player all the leverage, it doesn't work out for the Raiders at all. Prime example, Derek Carr. He leaves the Raiders and the Raiders don't get anything. Like anything. Not a pick, nothing. So
It worked with the Saints either. So.
Yeah, it didn't work out with the Saints either. But still, I'm just saying, like, I want the Raiders to benefit in the long run. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking at it from. You're looking at it long term. You're not looking at it right now. You're thinking long term. And on this, another thing too, I want to clear this up because people think that like, oh, getting this draft capital is all about getting a QB. Not necessarily. It doesn't mean that like the Raiders should go ahead and draft a quarterback. It doesn't mean that. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't draft a quarterback. It doesn't mean that this is going to guarantee them to get to trade up and get their quarterback. It just gives them an option. It gives them that ability like, hey, if there's their guy, they can go get it. But even if they don't do it, I know my guy TP in the building, man, appreciate you coming through. He says the thing that scares me is we trade our best players and the picks never turn out. See, this is the type of mentality that like the Raiders will never be good. Is because is because, and I'm not saying that the people in the building feel this way, but the fan base is like, they're basically, what do they say? What do they say about teams that play to lose? Or they try not to lose instead of playing to win. They try not to lose, but the team that tries not to lose loses. Like you're playing scared. When you play scared, you're gonna lose. You gotta if you gotta make the right decision. Sometimes the right decision is making the big time move, making the big time trade, you gotta be aggressive to make the right move. If you're not doing that, then you're gonna lose in the end. So I just think that. Right now, obviously, the Raiders are not going to. I don't think they're going to trade him before the deadline. I think it's a possibility they might look into it after the season. In my opinion, they're going to evaluate because you never know. Like things can always change. Players can always change your mind. Teams could always look at it and be like, you know what, we're a long ways to go. Look at the draft. Look at this team. Look at the talent on this team. Like, are the Raiders ready to win right now? Like someone in the chat said, we're not a quarterback away. Exactly. We're not a quarterback away. We're not a player away. We're not like this is going to take time. And that's why we're questioning the hires of Pete Carroll, who's, at his age, he's not going to see it through. He's not going to be there he wants to win now. And it's like, is he going to even be there to see it through and like build it? Like, I don't think he wants to be a part of that. I think he wants to be a part of a team that's going to be aggressive to win. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of options, to be honest with you. I don't think who was going to hire Pete Carroll? I mean, look at Bill Belichick. He was in his 70s and no one offered him a contract. I mean, the closest team might have been Atlanta. They entertained it for a second, respectfully.
We reached out to him after he signed his contract with North Carolina. We reached out to him.
Yeah, man, that's ugly, by the way, too. That would have happened. That would have been so ugly.
Yeah. I mean, it probably would have been as bad as this. I mean, to be honest with you,
it would have been worse. It would have been worse.
Probably been as bad as this. You think about it like this: everybody hates the Khalil Mack trade, right? Everybody hates that trade. Everybody despises that trade, and obviously, we didn't do a good job executing on the picks we got from that trade, but we make that trade 3 years later, run the playoffs. That's without really getting anything out of those draft picks. 3 years later, run the playoffs. So it's like, like sometimes you got to just pull that trigger. Like if you're afraid of failure, then you'll never take any risk. You should be equally afraid of keeping Maxx and like never winning anything with him. When you had an opportunity to move him, get multiple first, and you didn't do it. You didn't pull the trigger. It's like that should be an equal fear, but people don't think of it in those terms. Like there's a scenario where Maxx hits a steep decline. He's never the same. Maxx plays a very physical brand of football. He plays physical in a run game, in the pass game. He plays all these snaps. He's getting chipped, getting cut, like all this stuff. He's had multiple injuries to the lower body. He's having all these things. He had operations. He said he almost died at one point. Like he had all these things going on. But we're totally okay saying no, under no circumstances will we look at a Maxx Crosby trade. Nah, bro. You offer me a deal good enough, I'm sorry, Maxx. Appreciate you, brother. You got to go. At the end of the day, I got to do what's best for my team. And we may not be a quarterback away. That is probably true. But sometimes all you need is a quarterback to kind of change the trajectory and the hopes of your football team. I mean, I know we were off-site. I mean, off cam. We're talking about Drake May, what Drake May has done from year 1 to year 2. You know, my guy Jackson Dart, who I was talking about all last year. You know, like we see what he has done for the New York Giants. Have they won games? You know, they had an opportunity to win his last game, but you know, he has gone out there. He's won some games, but what he also has done is he brought excitement and hope to the fan base that they were sorely lacking. So like just doing that in and of itself, that does so much for you because you have that guy, you build excitement in the team. Guys around the league want to play with those kind of players. Coaches want to coach those kind of players. So if you're looking for a coach, you have this young, dynamic player at the quarterback position, the most important position in all of pro sports. You got a guy like that, you can do so much with that. So I know, like, so we might not be a quarterback away, but a quarterback takes us like most of the way.
Hold on, my bad. Nah, man, I look, you know how much I've been talking about the Maxx thing. I've been talking for a minute. It's not that I want it to happen. Obviously, Maxx is like one of the best players the Raiders have had in a long time. Nothing against Maxx. Nothing to him personally as a player. He's everything that a player should be for a team. Like, look, and I hope that the Raiders figure out a way to win with Maxx. That would be like a perfect ending to his, great career. But I also got to be realistic too as well. Like, if the Raiders are not close to winning, and we got a guy that like obviously he's in his prime, and I'm just looking at like all that, like you said, all the wear and tear, and he's just around the corner from 30. I'm like, man, this is the kind of like the Raiders' last chance to kind of capitalize on his value a little bit. Even Khalil Mack, the reason why Khalil Mack that situation was ugly was he was coming off his rookie deal. We didn't even give a chance to let him play past his rookie deal. That's why that was like, that was a no-brainer decision to extend a Khalil Mack. Like, but that's a whole different conversation, and the way that went down is completely different. I think a lot of people talked about how like the cash on hand with the Raiders, they didn't have enough money and yada yada. Even Derek Carr talks about like, man, I literally structured my deal to make sure like all these guys were gonna be taken care of, like whatever it took for them to get paid as well. Like he talked about that as well, and it didn't happen. So that's why it was like so shocking that the Raiders were able to do that. But that being said, they were able to get a king's ransom a little bit from Chicago, and the Raiders can do the same with Maxx Crosby. They can get at least a couple of first round picks. And man, you never know. You get one of the top defensive players in the top of the draft. You still have another first round pick. You can always get a quarterback. There's so many different combinations. You got so many different options. You could either take the best player available with that first pick, then you could come back and draft like the best available quarterback, or you maybe take a great quarterback and you start building around him. Maybe draft a tackle with the other first round picks that you get from. There's so like many different ways that you could start this rebuild. But we'll see, man. For right now, I don't think the trade happens. I think they're probably gonna evaluate it at the end of the season to see what happens, but we'll see. But for right now, the Raiders have come out and they said that they're not trading Maxx Crosby. Maxx has come out and he wants to, obviously, he's a Raider and he wants to win with the Raiders, which I respect it. But a guy that we can see definitely getting traded is Jacobe Meyers. The media talked to him today. I mean, they had there was a video of him talking about, him getting traded, this, that, and a third. And they asked him if he still wanted to be traded. He was like, for sure. So he just simply was like, for sure. But he was, like, you know what? The one thing about, I ain't gonna lie, I have a lot of respect for Jacobe Meyers. Because he clearly like, hey, look, they're not paying me. So I'm looking, I want to go play somewhere else. But at the same time, he's a professional. Like, he not complaining. We're not hearing any type of drama. He's just lunch pail, doing what he got to do. Has he played his best as far as in the blocking in that run game? Probably not. You know what I mean? But, hey, that's on the Raiders, though. That's on the Raiders. You got a player that's obviously disgruntled, and he actually went up to the team before the season and said, I want to get traded. He said no. He's still on team. He's still making plays, and at the end of the day, like, that's on the team. But for me, I'm like, hey, look, respect to Jacobe Meyers to see how he's carrying himself, because we've seen, like, not just with the Raiders, just around the NFL, like when players are disgruntled with their contract or whatever, it's all types of drama that happens. Like, it's all types of crazy stuff. Even if it has nothing to do with contracts, we've seen all types of drama. Like, literally, the name that comes to mind is like, an Antonio Brown. Had nothing to do with a contract, but literally, it can easily been a situation where, could have went left if it was, if there had anything to do with money and Antonio Brown. Oh man, like, it would have been. Yeah, we probably would have
T.O. doing sit-ups in his driveway. Like,
T.O., you taking it way back. T.O. There's been plenty of, we've seen players like sit out and like, not come to practice, not come to training camp. But Jacoby's been there all the way to the very end. And like, at the end of the day, like, Spytek he's deciding not to move forward with a contract with him. I'm just hoping that the Raiders can get something as far as a trade with them. If not, then I could see Jacobe Meyers just playing out the season and then him just walking too as well. Yeah. Like, it's not going to be a situation where it's going to be awkward until the end of the season. Like, that's how professional, like, Jacobe Meyers has carried himself throughout this whole thing. So, what was your take on the comments? He just, it was hella funny. It was so honest. It's
honest, bro. That's the one thing I respect about him. Like, the whole time, because like, people always talk about football being a business, and it's a business, and a lot of players pay lip service to that. I understand it's a business, but then you can tell when they say it, there's like emotion attached to it. Like, Jacoby, he just be like, yo, man, like when before he first asked for a trade, he's like, yeah, I'm asked for a trade. He's like, what happened? He's like, I went up to ask for a trade. They said no. Like, he just like be so matter of fact about it. Like today, he's like, would you still like to be traded? He was like, yeah. But he's like, basically it's out of my control. If not, he's like, I'll be here back, playing hard, doing my thing. Like, he just doesn't take anything personally. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be where I'm at. Like me complaining about it or causing extra drama or making a stir. That's not necessarily going to get me where I want to be. So, like, he just showed. And all honesty, if he made a big enough fuss, it might actually help him get traded. But, the fact that he's not doing that, if he held out, it might have helped him get paid too. But he didn't do any of that. He just continued to be a consistent guy, show up to work every day, be there for his teammates, help his teammates, and notable quotables. I actually, we touched on that a little bit, but he's just been a consistent teammate, consistent person, model citizen, not causing any drama. So at this point, man, just get him out of here. Obviously, we don't want to pay him. He's not in long-term plans. We drafted a young guy to take his place. So if he's not in the long-term plans, you don't want to pay him now. Send him somewhere where they can actually use him, and they're actually trying to win games and be successful and have a chance to get into the playoffs. And we can get this draft capital and kind of help us. With this team rebuild a little bit faster.
it's interesting because like I was saying earlier in the show, like I noticed something from that clip where he was talking to the media about, the trade possibility and all that. And in the background, I don't know if this means anything or it's something, but I pointed it out and I posted it on social media. I'm like, is that a Patriots jersey? And I know you looked at it real quick and you see there's clearly a Patriots jersey like right behind him in his Raiders locker room. Raiders locker. You can see a Patriots jersey. So is that a sign of, him possibly going back to the Patriots? I mean, I know we've heard rumors that Patriots are probably interested. We've heard, Robert Kraft, in a podcast interview talk about, Jacobe Meyers was one of those guys that they should have never let go and they should have re-signed. It's a possibility he can easily go back. That's like where he started his career. The Patriots do need a wide receiver, so I can see that happening. The Steelers obviously are a destination. They needed like a number 2 guy. That would be a nice little spot for him. I think those are the top 2 spots. I'm trying to think of there's a third team that I'm probably forgetting that could be a possibility. I've heard the Patriots.
I don't know if they're
Steelers.
a possibility, but will make sense. Oh, see, man, maybe not because I think they got Chris Godwin coming back. But Mike Evans I think he might be done for the year with that broken clavicle. So if they're looking for another guy, I think they got coming back though, Chris Godwin. So, they may not feel that as a need, but
they just got a lot of receivers though. I know that they're hurt, but they got a lot of receivers. Tez Johnson is balling, bro. He's making plays from. Who would have thought? 150-pound 4'6" guys ball, like that's crazy. That's how the draft.
Yeah, the drills. But he was killing at the Senior Bowl though. He just ran that. What hurt him was being so small, running that time. Where it's like
it got to be the fakest time, bro. That's probably the fakest 40 time of all time is him running a 4'6" like that. Yeah. He don't look like he ran a 4'6". Like you watch him, like he don't look slow.
Fast.
He plays fast. Yeah, man. So, yeah, maybe the Bucks. I know they're hurt. I mean, Godwin, I don't know what his situation is. I know he's kind of missed some games because of injuries, too, as well. He's kind of been injury-prone the last few years. So, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Their athletic trainer maybe need to get fired or something because their receivers be getting hurt a lot. So, I don't know what's
Buka was hurt, too. I'm surprised he ended up playing his last game. He was hurt, too.
Yeah, and he's a dog, too. So,
yeah.
The Bucks. And I want to, before we move on, this is what I was trying to tell some because people were like looking at like, oh man, why would you trade Maxx and why would you? And you've brought up this point too as well, Severe. He says Lions fan here. If you could get a big deal for Maxx, it can be similar thing as as like when we traded Stafford and got some of our best young players. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody talks about how talented that Lions team, and part of the reason why that team is talented is because they were able to get a draft haul from trading Stafford and able to build that roster and put some premium talent on that roster, like the guys like the that top running back that they have, Jamari Gibbs and Amani St. Brown, and all these guys were all drafted after Stafford. I think was St. Brown. I think
St. Brown was there. I think St. Brown was there. I think St. Brown might have been there.
It might have been a tight end. Sam Laporta might have came after.
Sam Laporta definitely was after. That was the same draft as Michael Mayer.
Gibbs, Aiden Hutchinson, those guys.
All those guys.
Yeah, all those guys came after. But yeah, like look, a big deal like that can expedite the rebuild process because you're going to be adding talent at every spot. Yeah, worst case scenario is you miss out on all this. That could happen. But I would think that, okay, you hired a spy tech, you got Brady in the building, like, hey, like this is what they're here to do, is to identify talent and put together a team. And how you do that, all the best teams do, they build through the draft. So if you don't trust them to do that, then how are they going to be able to win? Like, you don't trust them to draft, like, how are they going to be able to do what they're supposed to be doing? Like, do what they're paid to do. But let's see here. Maxx. Tribe says Maxx likely goes to a contender that will end up being 28th pick in first round, basically second round. So move wisely if Maxx is moved. Every team is going to be good.
Yeah.
Every team is
only
going
a good
to be
team
good.
will want to trade for him. Only a good team will want to trade for him at this point.
Yeah, no one's going to. A bad team is not going to give up a draft haul. You know what bad team would have done it? Them Al Davis Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
Them Al Davis Raiders would have traded. They would have.
The Bears are bad though. I think the Bears are pretty bad when they traded for Maxx, right? And for Mac, I mean, right? They were pretty bad. Did they end up going to the playoffs? I know that next year they had a pretty good defense.
I know they were a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
I know they were a pretty good defense.
Yeah. But I don't remember.
I don't know if they made the playoffs, but I know they were pretty good defense. And I know Mac was dominating especially when he first got there too.
He was Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I want to say that first year.
Yep.
But he had just come off winning Defensive Player of the Year, so it makes sense they would be a candidate again. But I mean, he didn't last long there. I think he was 3 years there. He's been more time with the Chargers than he's been with the Bears.
Yeah. It was funny too because they're saying that like the Bears kind of low key they lost the deal because they gave up all that draft capital and like they end up trading him for like, and it's funny because like there was rumors that Gruden was trying to, he was trying to get Mac back to the Raiders. Like he was trying to get, but like the Bears didn't like the optics. So they didn't want to trade him to. They want to trade him back. They didn't want to trade him to Raiders because literally you give all that draft capital and then you trade him back for like just a third or fifth round pick because that's how much he went for to the Chargers, which I don't blame him. That would have been a bad look. That would have been ugly.
Yeah, that would have been. Whew. That would have been. Sheesh. Yeah, you can't do that. Especially We low key won that. I mean, if we would have did more with those picks, you can't. We didn't do.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do anything. Well, one of the picks was Josh Jacobs. I forgot who that was.
It was one of the picks of Josh Jacobs. Look. I understand like the thought. I understand why people will be like, oh, because it's Raider. I call it Raider PTSD. And Raider PTSD is like, oh, draft picks. Who needs draft picks? We don't. It's not like we pick the right players anyways. So trade all the draft picks away. That's the logic. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, man. Nah. That don't make any sense. But hey, man, let's move along real quick, man. We got flag on the play. It's that time.
Personal foul. 69. Offense. He was giving them the business.
So they usually flag on a play. If you're just joining us, man, this is where we just talk about just things that we have an issue that we call a flag on. And Severe, what we got this week? Oh yeah, shout out to I think this is someone sent this in, man. Shout out to Reese, man, my guy Reese Rock, man, for the flag on a play that we're gonna be talking about today. But go ahead, Severe.
Yeah, first flag on the play. Obviously, you guys already know who is the founder and president of the Justin Fields is No Good fan club. That is yours truly. I've been saying since the beginning. Since people were saying the Raiders need to get Justin Fields, I've been saying he's no good. I've been saying he's no good. And the flag on the play this week is the Jets owner. He is our newest member, you guys. Congratulations to Woody Johnson. Welcome to the fan club, brother. Welcome aboard. He also agrees that Justin Fields is no good.
All right, so we're going with the Woody Johnson. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Aaron to turn it around. What's your confidence level in Aaron to turn it around?
Well, it looks like he's turning around parts of it. It's hard when you have a quarterback with, with a rating that we got. He has the ability, but something just is not jiving. But if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results if you go across the league. You have to play consistently with, at that position, and that's what we're going to try to do for the remainder of the season.
So what gives you hope then?
I just think defense, special teams are doing better. Defense is pretty good, and if we can just complete a pass, it would look good. We got to complete some passes. You got to convince them that you can do something. Otherwise, it's hard to have have a game that you can win.
What do you say to the fans who've lost hope? I know it's early.
What's your
Oh man, like he literally there's no way they can go back to Justin Fields after this. Like, and Justin Fields, this might be like a career ender possibly.
Bro, that is
he just went at him tough. But yeah, flag on a play on Woody Johnson, man, because I don't think he should have said that. Just because it puts the team in a tough position. Because like there might be a situation where, they have to go back to Justin Fields, and like you kind of mess with the dude's confidence a little bit. It's like, man, he didn't care at all. You could tell, like you could tell he hates Justin Fields. If anything, for him to come out and said it, like he was trying to pick his words wisely.
Yes.
But in reality, like if he didn't have to do that, he would have just came out and was like, man, this dude is trash. This dude is trash. But
he hates Justin Fields. He thinks Justin Fields is robbing him for money. He thinks Justin Fields got him. And you can tell, like, at first, like, in the beginning, he was trying to keep it cool, keep it clean. Like, when you got a quarterback that he was about to say he was about to say that's that bad. He was about to say you have a quarterback that's that bad. But he caught his words. He's that has that rating. Has that rating. He's obviously has some talent. You can make sure he threw that in there. But by the end of it, he was like, yeah, bro, this dude can't complete no passes. How he gonna win? You got a quarterback that ain't completing no passes. Like, ain't no coach about to win. Like, by the end of it, he was like, the training wheels are off. I'm taking no holds barred at this point. I'm cooking this man. So he kind of left it alone after that. But it was funny because you could see like the internal battle that was going on between being politically correct and just straight cooking.
But you see how, like, we don't know. Aaron Glenn, it's up for debate if he's the guy or not. But you see how, like, they understand that this is a clear rebuild, and they understand, like, hey, look, they're going to have to build this team before they can properly evaluate everything. And then once this team is talented and ready to go, like, if he can't get it done, then the next guy they have a better chance of probably landing a better candidate at head coach. Now the Raiders are kind of, they're in a situation where, like, where can they go? Because part of the reason why Pete Carroll was hired, and then I don't want to keep going back to the Pete Carroll situation, but part of the reason why he got hired is because the Raiders didn't really have a lot of options.
Like, yes, that is well. Yeah, they didn't have a lot of options, but they did have one option, and the other option was let's just keep the guy that we have right now. Like, we understood when we hired him.
Facts.
We understood there was going to be some growing pains. So instead of firing a guy, despite how bad the year was, let's give him another year to see if he can grow into this role. We have him meet with some other coaches around the league, go some coaches, like have him do that instead of just being like, you know what, like the reason the Jets understand that this is a rebuild and they're comfortable with it because they don't have a coach that was old enough to have watched the "I Have a Dream" speech live. Like that's why they're okay saying like we could take some time with this guy, right? Like Pete Carroll's time is limited.
Nah, facts. Real quick, let me address the super chats real quick. My guy Taj is back at it again, man, with the super chat. Appreciate you supporting the show. He says, I wanted to trade Micah, give him all the picks. Oh, okay. I don't know if I believe that, but okay, we'll just nod our head and just we'll give you that. We'll give you that.
We're gonna check the tape.
Yeah, man, we gotta check that. We gotta check that one right there. My guy Jeff with the super chat. Man, appreciate him coming through, man. If you ain't subscribed, man, go head over and subscribe to my guy Jeff's YouTube channel. You see the name on the screen. He says it's time to blow it up and start a new trade Maxx. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'll say this because I don't want to just put the Raiders in a position where it's like that's the only option. There is a world where they keep Maxx and they can still build the team.
Yeah.
There's a possibility. Like I'm not saying that's not a possibility. I'm just saying like there's an opportunity here. I'm also questioning if Maxx wants to be a part of that. Really, in reality, there's a lot of different factors that come into play that make me think that maybe trading him, after at the end of the season or after the season might be the best option. But we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. My guy LS with the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. He says, I have zero faith in Spy Tech Pete doing anything meaningful with the max capital. Look at his last draft and tell me you'd be comfortable with it.
Yeah, but still though,
But you know what? You know what? Look. We both felt the same way as far as Jack Besh pick. We're like, what are we doing? But then it kind of makes sense now because they're gonna replace him. They're gonna replace him with we're gonna replace Myers with Jack Besh. So that kind of makes sense. But the thing is, they're not even giving an opportunity to. I don't know. It literally a second round pick, and he doesn't get snaps until meaningful snaps until the third, fourth game, fifth game in the season. And then you got a fourth round pick who's been starting ever since OTAs, who clearly can't get open unless it's a deep route. And it just, I don't know, man. It's a lot of just confusion going on with the team. It doesn't make any sense. But we'll see. We'll see after the bye week, man. I want to see how because right now I think Besh has been playing more snaps as of right now.
Thornton, yeah.
Yeah. They finally realized hey, you know what?
He ain't done, but he's playing. He's ain't done a motherfucking thing, but hey, he out there. That's half the battle. You can't make a play if you ain't in the game. That's what
he's also not in control who passed him the football. Gino either is gonna pass it to Jacobe. For a minute, it was Jacobe or bust. He was not gonna pass it to anybody else but Jacobe. But now, I think now he's kind of it's Tucker's his guy a little bit. I don't know.
They're bracketing Jacobe. They're making sure they take Jacobe out of the game. So that's why he was throwing. The part of the reason he's throwing those picks, is he's trying to. I think two of them were to Jacobe. I want to say in the Chicago game, I think two of them were to Jacobe. So
yeah.
That's
I wonder what it's gonna look like with Brock Bowers back too. That might help things a little bit. Make it easier for a guy like Gino, maybe create more space, maybe. Because that was the last time where we probably could say that Gino looked pretty decent. Oh man, Gino looks 360
he looked better
yards.
Than he looked good that first game.
He had his moments that first game, and then ever since Brock got hurt, it just went downhill. So maybe that could be a difference. Might be help out in the offense, but we got another flag on the play. And what we got this week? And this one, I think this is the Reese Rock. This is the one. This is the Reese one. And what we're talking about is anybody that's watching. If you find a flag on a play, you can either send it to myself, PharoahNFL, either on IG or on X, as well as the Severe Raider. You can hit him up on X or on IG and just send a flag on a play candidate, and we'll look over it and see if it can make the show. Shout out to Reese. This is I think this is the one where he sent to us actually.
Yes, sir. So obviously we know that Russell Wilson spent 2 tumultuous years with the Denver Broncos. That ended pretty bad there. He was actually having a pretty good season. They approached him twice that year, basically demanding that he take a pay cut or he be benched. He was subsequently benched for Jarrett Stidham. And then he was released, and the Broncos drafted Bo Nix. So there's been a back and forth between him and Sean Payton, where Sean Payton threw some shots at him. And then, this is the first time I've really heard Russell Wilson respond to anybody.
I have a ton of respect for that organization. I spent 4 of my early years there, close with the Mayer Tisch family. They found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mayer not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game. I have a ton of respect for that organization. I spent 4 of my early years there.
So Russell Wilson says classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media. So Russell Wilson, obviously, he was quarterback at Denver a few seasons ago, and I think he was there. Sean Payton was there the second season of Russell Wilson. And if you didn't know anything, I mean, like it didn't go too well. I mean, like that first season, it was terrible. The second season, Sean Payton, I'll say Russell Wilson looked somewhat better, but Sean Payton clearly did not like Russell Wilson. Like he was taking shots at him every chance he can get. And it's man, I'll say this, man, when there's smoke, there's fire. And I feel like, man, a lot of people don't like Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but Sean Payton is kind of a dick. So that's a different situation. But hey, I think Russell Wilson is, I don't want to say he's quite Stephen A. Smith, but Russell Wilson, in terms of like Russell Wilson is like, Russell Wilson is the guy that you work with, huh? Company man. Does everything by the book. Everything by the book. He's good with the bosses. Oh man, talking to the boss the other day. Like, oh man, like, you know, like, oh, like John, like, you know, it's you're supposed to be on a 15-minute. That was 17 minutes ago. Like, what's going on? Like, you know, he's one of those guys, like, where it's like, I don't think he's like trying to be like, but that's just him. He's just like super, you know, super company man. And I think that's just how he is. I don't think that's like fake or fugazi. I think he's just that kind of person. And, you know, like, when you're not that way, or when you're like, you know what, bro, like, you ain't got to do all that. Like, you know, like, you're Russell Wilson, bro. You're a franchise quarterback. Like, why you acting like, I'm sure the people in Seattle are like, bro, yeah, you're Russell freaking Wilson. Like, why you acting like this, bro? Like, you know, like, so I should have run people the wrong way.
No, what I mean by where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, that like this flag on the play, Sean Payton just taking a low blow. Like when it was like hella unnecessary, but he really hates Russell Wilson to the point where he has to go out his way, and like we all know who he's talking about, and he knows how the media works. They're gonna understand what he's tried to say, and they're gonna, you know, and they're gonna like take that and run with it. But what I mean by that is like his teammates, his former teammates. I mean, like guys like, you know, Richard Sherman and even like Marshawn Lynch. I mean, I remember in the interview he said like he was really trying to communicate with Russell Wilson, but he didn't have his phone number. So he tried calling him and reach out, like, or he said like, "Oh, Russell's gonna call you." He said, "You got a call from a block call," and he didn't answer it. And then he got someone hit him up saying like, "Yeah, he called you, but he didn't answer." Turns out that Russell Wilson called him from block. He didn't want to get his phone number.
So I think I forgot who talked about that. But somebody talked about that. It was like, look, Russell Wilson didn't call him he like didn't block his number and then like, I'm gonna block my number and call Marshawn. Like his number's just blocked. So when he called Marshawn, his number's already blocked. That's what was said. I don't know how true that is. But he's like his number just blocked. And when he called Marshawn, it's already blocked. And obviously Marshawn, he from the hood. He's like, I don't know black numbers, bro. What is this? You know? You know, so you know, but I'm sure there's a part of Russell Wilson is like that element there. I don't know if that's good for my image. You know, Russell Wilson wants to portray that clean cut, super straightforward, straight narrow. You know, like it's just straightforward. You know, straight. Right. me and Sierra straight missionary. That's all we do. It's missionary. You know, like only after a shower. You know, like it's like that's what it is. Only after a shower. So, like hilarious. That's what he is. Like straight clean. So that's what he wants the image to keep. So, you know, Marshawn is not exactly that. Marshawn is beloved, but I think his image is not like super clean. So I think that's I can understand Russell not. And Rich, same thing with Richard Sherman. Like, you know, like a lot of those dudes in Seattle. Like Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch, Earl Thomas. You know, like a lot of those dudes. Like the only dude that was clean cut really is Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright.
Yeah, but it also followed him to Denver too. It just feels like it's just been following him his whole career. It's kind of like it's gotten to a point where you kind of I don't want to say feel bad. It's just like damn, like man. But like I said, that's why I said where there's smoke, where there's smoke. That's what I'm saying. Where there's smoke, there's possibly fire because maybe he's contributing to this where he's aloof, where he kind of separates himself and it's all obvious. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to keep talking about it, but I just find like, man, like that's crazy that the coach hates you, you got teammates that hate you, I remember that meme, that Denver Bronco meme where I think it was the running back at the time where he was just looking at Russell Wilson. It was on the sideline.
Oh no, I don't remember that one.
And basically Wilson was having a bad game, and like I forgot, was it Melvin Gordon? I don't know if it was Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon don't got a right to be looking at nobody. Set your ass down.
I'm just saying.
No, but I feel you though. But I think, like you said though, some of it is of his own doing. But you know, Sean Payton's an asshole too though. So it's kind of like pot calling the kettle black in that situation because I think they both kind of people that rub guys the wrong way.
Chill, Ray. Hey, see, he know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If Bonig gets
with Ruby Rose is game over in Denver.
Oh man, is that a true story? Is that
Nah. He just clown.
Russell was the guy that wives up the jump off.
No.
Yeah, that's another thing too. But he's the butt of everybody's jokes. You know what I'm saying? He's
that too. Yeah, because he's not like street. He's just super cleaned up, man.
Just call him a dork, Severe. Just call him a dork.
Yeah, he is, man. Hey, that's what he is.
Late show, man. Yeah, appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to click and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's just get to notable quotables. Severe, what we got? What's the first notable quotable?
Yeah, man. Actually, this notable quotable involves two guys that you just got done talking about. Actually, this is Jack Besh. Being asked obviously about there's a lot going on with Jacobe Meyers, and they asked him some questions about how Jacobe Meyers has been with all of this going on. And this, his response, we all have the understanding, and I'm sure Jacobe Meyers does as well, why Jack Besh was drafted. You drafted him to replace you. And there's two ways you can handle it. And, Jacobe chose one way to handle it, and I think it shows the kind of guy that he is.
Oh, so this is Jacobe Meyers clip.
No, it's Jack Besh.
He's helping the young guys. He's helping me and Dante each and every day just understand the game more, understand the ins and outs of the league, and just being able to just really know how to get better each and every day and how to attack the game from a physical and mental standpoint. So Jacobe has been awesome. I was really telling him how thankful I am of him, this past weekend, just of all the mentoring that he's given. Because I said, you didn't have to do that. He doesn't have to help the young guys. You hear a lot of stories about, young guys coming into rooms where vets don't really help them out and stuff like that. And, Cobe and Trey have been nothing short but just awesome, to me and Dante, just helping us learn and grow, each and
Man. See, that's a good dude, man. That's a good locker room dude. And that's part of the reason why, I know you were sign this man to a contract, bro. Sign him to a deal. He's basically everything you would want to have in a locker room. He's a good player. He's a good locker room dude. He's obviously outplayed his contract. But man, that's the NFL sometimes, man. It ain't fair, man. It's a business. Yeah. It's a straight up business. But yeah, I hope. But it sounds like whatever situation that he gets traded to is going to be a good situation for him, anyways. It's going to be a way better situation with the Raiders they're in right now. So he's going to have an opportunity to win, and also be probably playing with a way better quarterback. That's another thing too as well. So and then everything is going to be better. So. Yeah. So it's gonna work out for him in the end, but yeah, man, that's a lot of that's big praise, man. Even coming from a rookie, he's literally, you could tell Jack Besh is pretty straightforward. He's just gonna tell it like it is, and he just kind of he illustrated man, Jacobe Meyers is a good guy in that locker room.
Yeah. Like you said, he didn't have to do it, man. Obviously, everybody knows he's there. He's there to take your job. So you're essentially helping a guy. The reason you're not getting paid is because you drafted this dude. And he's still, taking it upon himself to, hey, you know what? Just because they not doing me right don't mean I'm going to do you wrong. You're a young guy in this league. You didn't help. You can't help where you were drafted. You were drafted here, and I'm going to help you be as successful as possible. So, in that sense, that's not a business-like move. The business-like move is to say, hey, F y'all and F my replacement. Y'all figured it out myself. But he's not doing that. So that just shows you the kind of person he is. That's the kind of people you need to lay a good cultural foundation. and the fact that we've essentially ostracized this guy and pushed him to want to not be here anymore. I mean, I think that just kind of shows there's issues with this team, and it starts with John Spytek. At this point, it goes down to Pete Carroll, and it trickles on down to to Chip Kelly's in there as well. If he's not fighting hard enough, Chris Beatty is the wide receiver coach. If you're not in there fighting the battle, Mark Davis, if you're not fighting the battle, it all involves all of you guys. This is a guy that should be on this team, and the fact that he's not going to be on this team, it's actually better for him, low key. It's actually better for him that he's not going to be on this team anymore, because he actually might go to a winning situation. But he asked to be here. He asked to stay, and that's what he wanted. And for us to not do what it took to keep him here, I mean, I think it's mismanagement. But it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to be looking at Jack Besh, though. They're going to be looking at Jack Besh. But I'll say this, though. To be fair, just to be devil's advocate, he is approaching that age where receivers normally tend to drop off. When they hit that 30, a lot of people don't. That's crazy. A lot of people talk about running backs and how, like, when they hit 30, it's kind of downhill. But even that happens to receivers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless, like, you got to be like the one of ones, the exceptions. Usually it's the exceptions to the rules, like the really good ones that have like a longer career. Meaning when I say long career, where I'm saying like they're playing at a high level. Like there's probably examples of guys playing long, but like not playing at a high level that they were in their prime.
It depends on what you're looking for. Just think of a guy like Ted Ginn. He had like a super long career, and he was like pretty productive, but it's never like at no point in his career was he like super duper productive, but he stayed like pretty productive like for a very long time. That was for a guy that was just like supposed to be a speed guy. So a guy like Jacobe, I think it'll age pretty well. But I don't know. He probably won't be like a top option for a long time. He's gonna have to transition to wide receiver 3 pretty soon, if not, this year or next.
Yeah. So we got one more notable quotable. What we got next?
Next up, man, we got Jason Fitz. He is a Raiders fan. He works in the media. I think, he usually makes it pretty well known that he is a Raiders fan. I think he does some stuff with the Raiders as well from time to time. But this is on Yahoo, and they were asking him about the prospect of keeping Pete Carroll. And let's just say he does not hold back.
Carroll needs to step down as the coach of the Raiders. Maybe not today, maybe not till the end of the season, but it is now abundantly clear that Pete Carroll is not going to be the answer for what long-term ails this franchise. And you know me, Caroline, at this point, I think it's fair to say that I am not overreactionary or a shock jock. And I think you also know that as we came into this season, my expectations were that the Raiders would be a 7-win team. I didn't come in calling for the playoffs. So when I say this...
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
I'm not saying this because wild expectations weren't being met. I'm saying this because the timeline no longer meets the coach's timeline. It's really simple. When you have a coach who admittedly on the mic at the podium this week said that they're further behind 7 games in than he expected they would be, my question becomes, what's the real rebuild look like? It's obviously not Geno with Chip Kelly. It's obviously not working this season. So now you got to look at it and say, okay, are we going to draft a quarterback? Are we going to bring in an all-new offensive coordinating staff? Are we going to bring in an all-new offense? Are we going to start this glorious rebuild process? And if you do that, how do you do that with a coach that's already the oldest coach in NFL history to stand on the sideline during a game? There's no way in my mind, if you're starting a real rebuild, which I believe takes 2 to 3 seasons, Pete Carroll won't be around to see the end of it. So the sooner you figure out who's actually going to run your team for the next 10 years through this rebuild process, the better for the organization.
Whew, man. Literally he's basically been watching us. He's been watching the 50-50 show faithfully this whole offseason up until now. Like, he literally said the exact same thing that we've been saying this whole time. Obviously today, like, literally, look, chill Ray, bro. Jay's been watching 50-50 show. No, facts. Like, literally said the same. But, great minds think alike at the end of the day. Like, he's seen it for what it is. He kept it real. He kept it honest. And, like, you got to question, like, hey, look, if this is going to be a long-term rebuild, And we always thought that. I thought that from day one it was going to be rebuild. Like this team is not ready to win right now, but they tried to do that, or they tried to do both at the same time. It's not working. And like he pointed out, Jason Fitz, like I remember Pete saying that earlier this week, talking about, they asked him like, where were you surprised by the, the season and this, that, and the third? He's like, oh yeah, I'm surprised that, we are where we are right now and this, that, and the third. You got to question, what is it going to look like moving forward? Is he going to be part of a rebuild? A 75-year-old coach, like what is he going to, like he doesn't want to do that. Like no. If anybody was 75 years old, I don't think any 75, I think a 75-year-old would want to win and be competitive for sure. I could see that, but like be part of a rebuild, like nah, man. Especially a Pete Carroll, who's been there, done that. Like he doesn't want to be a part of that. So it's going to be interesting to see how he looks at it, because, like I'm saying, like it's going to start right after the bye week. Are we going to see the young players? If the young players not out there, man, I think his days is numbered, bro. Like he's over here. He's not keeping it real. He's not being honest. And he's making it worse for the team. He's making it worse because he's trying to win, man. And I know people don't want to tank and all this, but come on, bro. Like you got to play some of these guys. You got to develop some of these players.
Strategic substitutions, baby. We back on that type of time,
strategic substitution.
Baby. Hey, LSU got me, bro. LSU got me, bro. That was indeed me. You guys, I tried to put a wool over your eyes, man. Y'all, this is the 50-50 audience. Y'all too smart, man. Y'all just be knowing.
Man, they be knowing,
Nah,
bro.
but seriously, man, seriously. I've been saying, look, if people, I took a lot of heat for it because I've been saying since the offseason, since before train, I've been saying, bro, Pete Carroll a liar. Pete Carroll just be straight. Back then, I was saying though, he's a liar. Like, oh come on, Severe, you overreacting, and bro, he just be lying. But no, like he be telling lies that like he's like, oh man, I'll be looking to play the young guys any chance I get. Like what? Like bro, we see the games. Yeah. Like this ain't like secret. No. Like we can see.
But you see how he worded it though. You see how he worded it. Like he says, yeah, we've been playing the young guys, and then he'll smoothly say in practice. Like in practice, like that's not what we're asking. Like why are you bringing up practice like it come on, bro. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Like, come on, dog. Like, it's like, bro, like it'd be just stuff that'd be obvious. Like, bro, we can see what's going on. Like I said it way back then when he first said the Napa thing. I was like, dude, he a liar. And people brought it. Oh, like, come on, Severe. He really wanted to do it. And he just like, bro, he's an NFL coach. He's been around. He knows the logistics of this. He knows the rules. He knows what you can't and can't do. Like, he knew all of this stuff. He was just lying to y'all to get y'all on his side.
LS is hilarious. He said Pete lies more than LeBron.
LeBron be lying, bro.
LeBron is one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time. And like, that's another debate. But, he's one of the best players of all time. That's not a debate. But when I say he got to be one of the goofiest, just liar, it's like, why would you do that? Like, I'm talking about, and the reason why I'm talking about it, like with this, is because
Russell Westbrook. But this is an article. Did you see an article about Russell Westbrook? How Russell Westbrook, because dude wasn't rocking with him because he's a liar.
Well, he said he was fake. I seen that, but also I seen the clip. I seen the clip of him in the presser with the Malcolm X book.
Oh yeah.
He came out to the presser and he's like, you know what I mean, like to show everybody, he read this book and it's Malcolm X. And then like when someone actually asked them a question, his face, his whole body, like he literally left his. Bruh, he was in shock. Like he's like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do now?" Because his answer, it was embarrassing. It was cringe. Like I was like, man, you did not read.
You can tell you ain't never read the book, bro. Like you might not even know who Malcolm X is. Like you might not even know. He might not even know.
He was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time. Like what the fuck? Get the fuck. You just said a whole lot of nothing. I didn't learn anything from what you just said.
Like, did you watch the movie? Like bro, watch the movie at least. Like god dang, dog. Yeah, TK, you absolutely right.
Oh, bro. Yeah. No, I think it was Godfather. He said The Godfather was his favorite movie, and then he couldn't.
Oh yeah, he couldn't say one line from it. Yeah, that's something else. That's something else Russ called out. That's something else Russ said about that too, and he's talking about how he said it was talking about Will Smith being fake or something like, or he didn't like Will Smith, and when Will Smith got in there, like his whole energy was different. He was being like all goofy and buddy with him. That's like Russ is a real dude. Like whatever you feel about Russell Westbrook is Russell Westbrook. He don't care like who you like him or not. Like, you know, he for the most part, he's like all the teammates in the league have liked Russell Westbrook. And only 2 people haven't, and that's, you know, LeBron and KD. And they both kind of goofs, right? They both kind of like goofs. So like the 2 people that haven't gotten along with them. So, you know, but this is why though. Yeah, LeBron would be fake, bro.
I will say though, Russell Westbrook doesn't do himself any favors, like the way he's played, his play style. Like it's crazy. He has like the weird, like he's obviously one of the most talented players, but it's like it's almost like what a perfect example of talking about Russell. It's like a bull in a china shop. Like it's just.
But the thing, think about Russ though. He's not controlled, and like he never really like Russ is one of those people that's like he's extremely confident, and his confidence has led him to like great success, but it's also led him to like some like crazy failures because he has supreme belief in himself. Like, you know, he can be 0 for 20. He be like, bro, I'm about to be 1 for 21 though. Like that's his belief. Like that's his belief, and that's why if you ask the hoopers, all the hoopers like that hooped. Love Russell Westbrook. You ask AI, who was his favorite player in the league? Oh man, Russ my favorite player. Ask Kobe. Kobe said, "Now he didn't even ask him."
AI got 100 favorite players. He said,
but this is like back.
He said Steph was his
back
favorite
then.
player.
Yeah, this was back then. Though. This is like before Steph was like MVP like Steph. This is like where Russ was like first started really cooking. But he was like Russ is his favorite player. As when they was asking Kobe unprompted. It's like they was asking Kobe like, who's a player that reminds you of you? And he was like, man, like honestly, man, that kid in OKC, Russ, like unprompted, like they didn't ask him a question. He just said Russ. Shaq was talking about Russ. Charles Barkley was talking about all the hoopers that hoop. They all talk about, yeah, man, Russ is that dude, like that. He's that dude, like, cause he doesn't cheat the game. Like he don't cheat the game. He's 100 miles per hour every game. Like that's what he does, max effort. So like they all love him, man. But
I just wish that he had a level of control. Like he would be so much like he would have been better and more respected. He would have been if he just had he just couldn't control himself. Like it was just never, he could never slow it down or just play. Like if he was able to do that, and it felt like at times he could. There were certain moments where he could, but then it's just, man, especially when he played with other guys, it was just like, I don't know, man. He just never figured it out. He just plays the same speed every time.
Like the basketball version of trying to do too much. Like, bro, you trying to do too much, man. Like, just like, yeah, bro. Like, nah, bro. Like, but yeah, you know, it is what it is, though. But we mean to derail the conversation. I forgot where we was in that with it, though. Somebody made a comment about Tyler Lockett.
We're talking about how Pete Carroll was a liar, and then LeBron. Brought up.
Oh, you gotta hear LeBron. Yeah, Pete Carroll. Somebody made a comment about Tyler Lockett, though. That is very true, though, man. He talking about people that Pete Carroll likes that got these crazy hairlines. If your hairline is terrible, Pete Carroll loves you. Pete Carroll loves you, bro. Like,
oh man, bro, he must love Brock then. Brock got
Brock, Dylan Lobby getting run. Like all these dudes with these wild hairlines, bro. Pete Carroll love these dudes. So Tyler Lockett, like keep Tyler Lockett on the. I'm gonna remember you, TK. When we sign Tyler Lockett, I'm gonna shout you out.
If Russ had a jumper,
Russ had a jumper, it'd be over. That's like that's a lot of people that's like that though.
But it's just the way he plays is just like it's just like not in control. That's why I like me personally, and I know you probably would argue this, but I don't know. Derrick Rose, when he was healthy in his prime, I liked his game better than I liked Russell Wilson's game. I felt like there's a level.
That's different. That's a different question. Like if you ask me who I think was better, I would say Russell. I think Russell Westbrook was better. But if you like whose game you like more, I can see you like whose game.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like of course, whose game I like better. That's personal. Like that's a personal preference or whatever. But I feel like it's hard for me to say because he won the MVP, but obviously Russell did as well. And then he's had like great historical season where he averaged a triple-double and all that type of stuff. But and then Derrick Rose, like he obviously got hurt and stuff like that. Like Derrick Rose is like a big what if. But Yeah, that's a whole different. But I'm just comparing the two because they're both like explosive guards. But but like Derrick Rose, like athleticism was like, to me it was crazy. Like his explosiveness was way more acrobatic. Like control. Like he had way more body control. Like
I think Russ was more explosive and more power though.
More power. I don't know. More explosive.
I think he's more explosive too. I think more explosive too.
Like the plays that Derrick Rose had. Like I'm talking about. Like
you seen the plays Russ making, bro? Like Russ been. And think about this. Russ had to do that while sharing the floor with Kate. So that's why you think about Derrick Rose. He's the youngest MVP ever, but he had his own team at a young age. Like Russell didn't get to have his own team. He had to fit in the team with Serge Ibaka and with KD, with James Harden off the bench. So I think they had like another high pick too. I forget his name, but like they had several other high picks.
Though he didn't come out like he wasn't Russell Wilson.
He was a lottery pick, bro. He was a lottery pick. Nah, he was cooking, bro. Nah, he was cooking from like year two. He's bam, Russ. He cooking. Might have been year one, but he for sure year two was cooking.
I gotta look back at that, but yeah, man, yeah. Nah, Russ. It's funny too because I seen that he signed with the Kings, and I put like a little one of them sad like, trumpet like like when you go to the Kings, man, it's like equivalent to like going. I'll be honest with you. This is messed up, but it's like Raiders. It's like it's your last chance. Like Devin White, you know what I mean? Last chance. Like if you can't get it together here, then it's like no chance you're gonna get it together. And Russell Wilson, he's had a long career, but I mean, what do you think of the Kings? Is real off topic. What do you think of the Kings?
I don't. I just don't think about them at all. I just do not think about it. It's just,
Hey, spoken from a true Laker fan right there. That was a true Laker fan answer right there, man. Man, respect, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Tribe says Russ needed to learn to use his teammates. He did. For me, it was more of the control. He just played out of control, man. It's crazy to say like he had all the talent in the world, but he's one of the weirdest players. Him, I put Kyrie in there too. Kyrie's one of those weird players too, because Kyrie is so talented, but why are you not? Why are you not
skilled?
Yeah, why are you not up there winning and like leading teams? Like, and that's a question that's been a valid question. Is like, is Kyrie a good leader? I don't know if he's
definitely not. Yeah, that's what
you know what I mean. He's always gonna get that Batman label. You know what I mean. I don't know if he's ever or the Robin label where he's not gonna be the main guy. He's gonna be the Robin. You know what I mean, to whoever is the main dog.
What's crazy is that if Kyrie had more of Russ, and if Russ had more of Kyrie, they'd probably both be way better players. Because obviously Kyrie is more skilled than Russ. Russ is way more athletic. But Russ is also, a super alpha, and he does it without being like, you hear stuff about Kyrie. He does like I want to say some bitch ass stuff. He does like bitch ass things, like where it's like, like why you acting like that? So, but Russ is just alpha. He's a leader. Like he takes command, and everybody's played with him, and it makes some people uncomfortable. Like some people they don't like being around a person that's like. That takes command and that's demanding and that, hey, this is what we doing and we doing it this way. Like they can't handle that kind of person. But the people like most of his teammates loved him.
He said not Dick Grayson Robin, more like Timothy Drake Robin. Nah. But hey, look, Kyrie, man, his game, man, it's up there. But he's not. I can't compare him to like all the other guards, like the top guards that led their teams. Like even Westbrook to a certain extent, but even Westbrook is a hard one because like he's obviously been a main dog. He's led his team. He's won MVPs, but Kyrie, you could put him in a lot of different situations and he could win.
Kyrie's probably like people have said he's probably the most skilled player like ever, just in terms of skill. Like he's probably the most skilled player ever in terms of ball handling, like the different shots, acrobatics, finishes at the rim. Like he's skill level, like his skill level is top notch. but he obviously doesn't have the athleticism, and he's not a leader at all. And then he's not really the toughest guy either.
Yeah, man. We'll see. I don't know if is he healthy? Is he back healthy with Dallas? I know he's recovering from injury. He's not back.
He's done.
He said he's done.
No, he's not back healthy. I think I'll say no, he's not done. I think he'll probably be. Well, he got hurt kind of late, I think. So I don't know when he'll be back. If he'll make it back this year, but they signed him to another contract, so they're expecting him back.
I mean, they got to. They had no choice. Yeah. They had no choice. But yeah, that being said, what's real, what's not, man? Real quick, man.
What's real, what's not. So everybody knows, we make a statement. You guys let us know if it's real or if it's not. We kept it kind of straightforward this week. What's real and what's not statement is more than 2 starters from the Raiders will be traded before the deadline. So more than 2 starters will be traded by the Raiders before the deadline.
All right, so I'm gonna obviously it's not gonna be Maxx. Jacobe is a prime candidate. I seen a rumor out there. He's not a starter though, but I heard a rumor with the backup running back Mostert. I heard he was in trade rumors, but he's not a starter. Yeah, but what it is. I'm gonna say not real. I think it's just Jacobe. I don't think they could. Ooh. I see why you did this. JPJ could be a possibility. I obviously don't want this to happen. Like if this happens, like everybody in the building should go. Should just go. Like that's bad for business. Like why are you trading away young talent in the offensive line, interior offensive line where we need those guys. We need especially on a rookie deal. Like it's not like guards are getting paid nothing. Like you gotta pay a lot of money for these guards these days. So you got a guy that has somewhat of potential in JPJ, who you can argue like has he played? He should be playing at center, play at guard. Either way, if that happens, like man, that's someone got to get fired immediately. I think that's where Mark got to come in, or someone got to come in and like veto that trade. But that's the only other possibility. I see Jacobe and JPJ just because of the weird stuff that's been happening this entire season. I mean, he got benched last game. And I'm not saying he had the greatest game too, by the way. It's not like he had the greatest game, but the fact that he got benched, and then at the same time, like Pete's talking about competition. Still.
Yeah.
It's week 7, week 8. He's talking about competition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's not real. I'll say it's not real. I think it's just Jacobe. I'm gonna say Jacobe. But like that's the one that gives me a little bit pause where I'm thinking like Jacobe and maybe JPJ, but I can't see JPJ, bro. That's just too stupid. It's just dumb.
It's dumb. I'm gonna say real. And I'm gonna say Jacobe already out the door. I'm going to say that if Dallas continues to win and Dak continues to play at a near MVP level, it's him and Baker and probably Jonathan Taylor up there too. If he continues to play at that level, where the main thing holding him back is defense, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Jerry Jones to do something, especially after they got rid of Michael Parsons. I say they make a Godfather offer. Not quite what they gave up for, not quite what they got for Micah, but somewhere in that neighborhood.
Oh,
and
for Maxx? Before the deadline?
For Maxx. Before the deadline.
Oh, okay.
I say that I can see Dallas doing it. I don't give a damn what the Raiders are going to say what the Raiders are saying. Like Maxx could say, I don't want to be traded. At the end of the day, Spy Tech don't really got no allegiance to you. Only thing at that point you kind of worry about is dead money, how that affects the cap. But even then, it's like
only 10 mil. 10 mil. So I've heard two things. Over the cap, it says 10 mil. Spot Track, the guy on Spot Track social media came out and did the numbers. He said 18 mil this year. Either way, it's still doable technically.
So just this year. This year. So as long as it's not like super going forward money.
If it's it's dead cap money this year, and then if they trade him during the offseason, then it's $5 million. Both over the cap and Spot Track say the same thing, $5 million.
So, but if it's this year, if it's only this year it affects you, then they're not worried about that. Right? They ask. Like, I ain't worried about 18 million. You ain't spending the money you really had anyway. So, they're supposed to be second in the league in cap space next year again, I want to say. So if it's this year, I can see Dallas being like, look, if they really legit want to make a run, then maybe they see some weaknesses. Like the Commanders are down a little bit, especially with the injuries. They see that maybe some chinks in Philadelphia. I think they had a 2-game losing streak. Maybe they see something there where it's like, okay, they played Green Bay to a tie, who was another top team in the NFC. Like the AFC is super wide open. It's the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens are down. So their opponent, they're not too worried about who their opponent is going to be in the Super Bowl. I can see them saying, you know what? Let's go for broke. And Pete, man, that's another thing that people be lying about. Pete talking about making people the competition thing, or talking about he left Geno in to practice. You left Geno in, a 35-year-old quarterback. You left him in to practice, but JPJ is struggling and you take him out. Like, shouldn't he be practicing too? Like, right. Shouldn't you keep that same standard? Just be lying, bro. Just be lying.
Yeah, bro. He just be lying. He just be trying to say something just so he can get out of the situation or question that's being asked. But staying on the Maxx Crosby thing, what's the compensation that the Raiders get? Because you said a little bit less than Micah. Micah was 2 first-round picks plus a good player in Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
So do we get 2 first-round picks minus a player?
I think it's 2 first-round picks and like a future third or something like that. Like not this year, but in the next year.
I'll do it.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I would do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Damn. And then I just hope that, Dak goes to IR and lose the rest of their games.
That'd be ideal. That would be ideal. Oh my God. That would be bro. We end up with two top 15 picks. Oh my goodness.
Man, all we got, and like literally we get 2, like personally, if they just draft two top players in the top 10 or top 5, similar to what Texans did, if you remember. The Texans, they picked CJ Stroud, number 2 overall, and then did they trade up to go to number 3?
Trade up to get
but they were already they're already in the top 10 though. They're already like in the top 10, so it wasn't like a crazy trade up for them. And they were able to draft Will Anderson, who's one of the best young pass rushers in the NFL. So if that you do that, and like you get one of them pass rushers, from Miami, get one of them guys, or
get one of them dudes, yep.
Or Arvell, Arvell Reese is like look like Micah Parson, Micah Parson reincarnated. You know what I mean? Like a guy who could do it all at linebacker, but he has some pass rush upside.
Some twitch to him, yeah. And then also, want to dress offensive line, invest in offensive line to invest in your running back that you got this year to help him realize the full potential that he has. Like you do all that stuff, so you dress your offense and your defense in one draft class in the first round, and which also bolsters this draft pick.
Man, we dreaming at this point, man. That's like hypothetical speaking, but but reality is probably if they did trade, it would be a first round pick. Man, it would be nice though if we had like both their first round picks from this year. Oh yeah, because they got Green Bay. So
this year,
so if the Raiders were really aggressive, they'd be like, "Hey, give us both your first round picks this year."
This year, yeah. See, I don't know if they'll do that though. Because that's what I'm saying. Dallas can do it because since they still have another first, they can almost get away with doing it. Where it's like, okay, we still in the first round, so they're gonna probably we should take the lowest, whichever is the lowest pick though. So depending on which one it is.
Brim says I don't trust our draft pick and we suck at it.
Yeah, but still, we got. But that's more bites at the apple, though, man. Like we gotta take because we're gonna be drafting regardless. I'm taking more bites at the apple because we losing with Maxx.
Look at it this way. All right, put it this way. Brock is a good player. Obviously, he's a great player.
Yeah.
Genty, good player.
Good player.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get another what? Top 10 pick. That's a high percentage chance is going to be a good player.
Exactly.
I mean, we all understand Tyree Wilson was one of those players, but we're not hoping for that. Like, and to be honest with you, there's some players like if we pick in the top 10 this draft, I feel like we can get either a top offensive lineman, top pass rusher. I mean, probably people don't want to hear this, but we do need it. A wide receiver 1, but most importantly, number 1 is quarterback.
Yeah, Randy Moss. What we need to watch for.
Oh yeah, we got Calvin Johnson reincarnated. You know what I mean? Man,
oh my goodness.
That's what people were telling me. Like, oh my God, Dante Thornton is the next Calvin Johnson. How can you call this receiver core one of the worst in the league?
Exactly.
Come on,
but that's the thing though, man. If we're able to do that, if we get able to get like, let's say we get a tackle in this draft, right? We slide get Glaze down to guard, move JPJ back to center. Then you're solidifying your offensive line. Then you're getting Genty in those positions where when he has a head of steam, he's good. He's really good. Great sometimes. Like, so you turn like what's a weakness right now instantly into a strength. You're strengthening your offensive line, strengthening your pass pro, and you're strengthening your running game, which is going to open up the play action, which is going to make your passing game better too. So you're doing so many. So that's why, and then that still gives you a second option to say, hey, you know what? If we want to do a quarterback, or you know what? We don't want to do a quarterback. We want to go, Caleb. If you want to go Caleb Downs, if you want to go Arvell Reese, if you want to go Bain, if you want to go Dante Moore, if you want to go, I don't know about Mendoza. Iffy on Mendoza, but Ty Simpson. I'm warming up a little bit to Mateer. I don't think he'll be a first rounder, maybe late first rounder, but like some of these other guys, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Like, so I just think that's just the way to go at this point, man. It's just like if the option is available to us, we got to do it.
Hey, so someone was telling me because I was talking to him about Ty Simpson, right? And how he's had this is his first year starting. Was that the case with Joe Burrow?
No.
Where he kind of came out of nowhere?
He came out of nowhere, but it wasn't his first year starting.
Where did Joe Burrow start before?
He started at LSU. He just wasn't good this first year. So he transferred from. He was at Ohio State. He transferred from Ohio State. He went to LSU. He was like mediocre that first year. Then the second year, one of the greatest college seasons of all time. Like it's kind of like Jaden, like Jaden. But Jaden actually played at ASU. So Jaden played at Arizona State. One of the years there was a COVID year. He transferred to LSU. First year at LSU, he's cool, but he's not like Jaden Daniels, but he was still like pretty good. Then the second year, he was Heisman Trophy. Jaden Daniels, our best quarterback in the draft type stuff. So
yeah, because what I'm trying to think about is like what was the exception to the rule to that like first 1 year of starting? Because this Ty Simpson hype train is getting bigger and bigger, bro. Like he's like everybody's calling him QB1. Your boy Todd McShay's calling him QB1. Everybody's getting on the hype train as far as Ty Simpson, and it's if he keeps it up, I think he's probably going to be like the Heisman winner.
Yeah, 1 year starters. I can't think. I'm trying to think off the top of my head anybody that was just like a 1 year starter that went to the NFL and had success. There's been 1 year wonders where they only had played 1 good year, but they still had starts in other years, so they still were their starter before that. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that was just like a 1 year starter overall and was good.
Man, please, like I don't want to hear this shit, bro.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna be hella mad. If that shit's gonna make me. That's
the
depressing.
Texans, man. The Texans should do something, bro.
The Texans, that'd be depressing, bro. Like JPJ, goodness. Like come on, man. Like that's just, it's not smart, man. I don't see like unless like, bro, it's not smart because you're gonna be trading him under a coaching staff that their days are numbered. So like, so Spytek better have some balls. Like he gotta be like, nah. Like what are you like? Because I'm sure he's the one that I don't like. What Pete Carroll's not, his days is numbered. Like he's not gonna be here for like Spytek gotta like. That's why I'm like JPJ getting traded. I'm like, I can't see it because I'm like, he values offensive linemen. He knows how he doesn't want to build through free agency. He wants to build through the draft. Why? Because you get talented players on cheap contracts, and JPJ is a talented player on a cheap contract. You want to continue that development and see what you can do with that, but it don't make any sense. But yeah, man. I outside of ties, because realistically, I don't see the Raiders probably getting into that top 3, maybe close to top 5. The way it's looking, because some of these teams is bad. Like Raiders are bad. There's some of these teams I don't even know if they're gonna win it.
But see, the thing is, I think the Dolphins and the Jets play at least one more time. So
the Dolphins already have a win. See,
yes.
the Jets probably going to be like the front runner for number 1. How you feel about Mendoza, man?
I don't like Mendoza, to be honest with you. And that's and it's not fair because I don't like his game, but he's so fake, bro.
He's not
so
special.
Fake. He's not special. It's just seeing him in interviews, he's super fake. He's super duper you can tell his answer he's been trained. All his answers are trained. He's like, oh man, I just want to, my offensive line, that's so great. I just want to thank those guys so much. It's such a great job blocking for me. It's just it's so manufactured. It's not genuine. So
what's that? You say the same thing to Tom Brady. Tom Brady's his answers was
I think Tom Brady's charismatic. Have you ever seen Mendoza talk?
I've seen him talk a little bit. It's disgusting.
It's just it's super fake manufactured. It's not just so. I don't think he'll I don't know if he'll be able to connect.
You don't see him you don't see him as a guy that you want to lead a locker room.
Exactly. Not the talent's not there. I just don't think he's the guy to be. And also what bothers me about him, and it's not that this guy wasn't a good player, but it's just I don't know, it's just weird. But he just looks like a fake ass Kirk Cousins to me. He just looks like a fake ass Kirk Cousins, bro.
So all right. So your top guys for sure, Dante Moore is probably in your
Dante
top 3.
Moore, Ty Simpson is getting up there too.
Damn, bro.
Sleeper. I like Mensa as a sleeper. I like Mateer as a sleeper too.
What do you think of Sorsby? You don't really like him like that?
The one guy I haven't seen him. I haven't watched it. I know you was talking about him.
No, and actually, shout out to Ray. He kind of put me onto him. I'm like, man, I like he's like a traits guy. He's 6'3", 6'4", 240, got a nice arm, nice release. He played for Cincinnati. I think they're 5-6-1 or whatever. They're ranked. You know what I'm saying? But it's still early in the process. Right now, it's maybe at best round 2, mid round option or whatever. But I know everybody wants to get a quarterback early, so I'm not gonna. I'm just thinking about all the other options too as well, not just the guys you can get early. I don't think
the Seller's not ready. Seller's not ready.
I don't think he's in a good situation, bro. In South Carolina, it's not. He might have to stay another year. He might need a transfer. He might need to go somewhere else.
And that was he was one of my top guys coming into the year too. But I just haven't been super impressed by him, to be honest with you. I think he needs another year. Mayava, I didn't really like Mayava, but he's growing on me a little bit. I see him see some NFL level throws. Obviously he's a big physical guy. I still want to see more, but he's growing on me a little bit. Who else? Nico Iamaleava from UCLA. He's super traits guy as well. 6'7", fast. Probably got one of the better arms. Probably top 5 arm in the nation right now, in terms of arm strength. You can see him kind of starting to get a better feel for quarterbacking. But the problem I have with him is that the system under Sensori, that was a more complex system, and he honestly struggled. But he didn't play well in that system. As soon as we went to Iamaleava, the UCLA quarterback.
Okay. UCLA. So you UCLA guy, man. So you gonna have the intel.
I didn't like Nico though. I didn't like Nico, but what I've seen from him, I could see the talent is there. It's just but like I said, the issue I have with him, because in terms of traits, he's probably top 3 talent in terms of just traits, just like size, speed, arm strength. Like traits, he's top 3 for sure. It's just that the other aspects of the game, like I said, he went from a more complex system under Sensori to like a more one read type situation under Neuheisel, and then as soon as he went to that, he started cooking. It's like, well, damn. Okay,
didn't he transfer from Tennessee?
Transferred for Tennessee under Josh Heupel, which also ran a simple ass system. So, and those quarterbacks don't translate well. So part of the reason why I was looking at him under Sensori worked under Cignetti in Indiana, and obviously Sensori worked under in Bama too. So he's worked with like a lot of programs that have had some success. So that was like, okay, damn, he gets his hands on Nico, he can do something with Nico. But Nico struggled in the system. Like I said, as soon as we went to a simpler system, Nico started cooking. That's when we beat Penn State, and he was like, the best player in the nation that week. And so it's like as soon as we went to a simple system, he started cooking. So that's like, okay, damn, I can't really trust you then.
Yes, it's like it's gonna be like a development curve with him in order for him to play in the NFL. But we'll see. There's a lot of time. We don't even know who's gonna be coming in. We don't even know who's gonna commit to the draft. There's a lot of moving parts here. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks that we don't know who's gonna come out. But if Sellers does come out, do you see him as a guy that you would probably take a flyer on in the first, second round as of right now? Even though like right now it's kind of tough. Like it don't even make sense for him to come out. It don't even make no sense.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Because that's like he has more starts. That's the one thing you kind of like. He has more starts than Anthony Richardson, so there's a lot more experience. But still, like man, it's like he's struggling. It's like you have to take him in the first round. Like you're gonna have to take him in the first round. Basically, it's like I don't think he's gonna get out of the first round
because it's talent. Because it's talent.
And if not, like a team in the second round would trade to the bottom of the first round to get them, just to secure that 5th-year option, if nothing else. So that could be a situation with us where if we want to take them, if we have a high enough pick.
I gotta be real, bro. I just don't see the Raiders getting taken. Like for some reason, Tom Brady, I feel like he has, like you could tell Tom Brady's gonna be drafted, bro. It's gonna be either Mendoza, Ty Simpson, which I have no problem with Ty Simpson, but it's not gonna be the athletic quarter. It's not gonna be any athletic quarterbacks. Any like.
That's why I like Dante Moore though, because Dante Moore is like that fine line where it's
fine line.
Like,
but I don't know, man.
He has some wiggle to him, but it's not like he ain't no runner. So Tom Brady, like I like this kid. I like the cut his gym. Like we can work with that. But
it is what it is, man. Well, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in at this point, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, great show, great conversation. It's a bye week, man. So it's the Raiders, like I said, they're not gonna lose this week. They're not gonna lose this week. They're not playing at all. Nah, facts. But we are gonna be here later this week around the Shield this Thursday. Make sure to tune in. We'll have some guests. We'll chop it up. We'll continue the conversation. We'll get into all this possible, scenarios with this team as far as like who they can possibly draft, how the season can go. And we'll continue this conversation. Make sure to tune in. We'll have some guests, so make sure you don't want to miss it this Thursday around the Shield. My guy Severe, and obviously some guests that we're gonna have on too as well. And then we'll obviously be back here next week, 50-50 show. But Severe, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
You guys know what it is, man. The Severe Raider on YouTube, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, X, Kick, Twitch, everywhere. The Severe Raider. I'll let you obviously Tuesdays and Thursdays with my guy PharoahNFL. 50-50 show and around the Shield, and then Sundays and Wednesdays in the Raider War Room with Chris from Protect the Shield and 805 Raider. And man, appreciate you guys. I hit the 1,500, so starting this Monday, look out for your boy, man. I was gonna try to go yesterday. I was trying to figure out StreamYard. Still ain't figured out completely, but I'll have it down by Monday, man. So we're gonna get it cooking this Monday.
Yeah, man. Just let me know too. We'll talk about behind the scenes, but yeah, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, but yeah, man. Hey, you make sure to follow me all over social media, PharoahNFL, including YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, it's your first time joining us, definitely subscribe and follow me all over social media. But also, more importantly, follow also Around the Shield on X and IG. I'm trying to build that up. Get your latest and greatest Raider news, rumors, all that good stuff, memes, podcast clips, you name it, we got it. Definitely give us a follow over there, Around the Shield on X and on IG. Yeah, man, we'll be back at it later this week. Severe, any last thoughts before we head out?
Nah, man, Pete Carroll be lying, bro. Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, man, he lying, man. I had man. I wish I had the picture up too already, man. He got the Pinocchio nose, man. Like that's.
Oh, that was hilarious, bro. Oh my god, I was dying. Oh my god.
Every time he says something that's a lie, I'm just gonna post that picture. I'm not gonna no words, just post a picture of Pete Carroll with a Pinocchio nose. Everybody gonna know what that means. Like he lying. It's another news. Anyways, he lying. Nah, but we'll be back here later this week, man. Peace.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.